800-355-9660. Call now.
Well, we at First Edition are continuing to commemorate the life and legacy of Dolly Parton, who passed away Tuesday at the age of 80.
She was born in Sevier County, Tennessee, and that's where we find our correspondent, Adam Lorenz. He is live right now with more on that. Adam, good morning to you.
Good morning to you all, Emma and John, and that's right. We're here in Sevierville, Tennessee, downtown Sevierville. Dolly was born here in 1946, one of 12 children in a very small log cabin. One of her famous songs, Coat of Many Colors, that's a real song. Her mom literally stitched her coat with patches that they had. It was a real small place where she grew up. There's a replica of that home at Dollywood. That's where we were yesterday, and here you can see behind me the Dolly Parton statue here right outside the Sevier County Courthouse. I'm so pleased to be joined by a longtime Dolly fan who was actually here when they opened up this statue, Mr. Jonathan Brazier of Greenville, South Carolina. Jonathan, thanks so much for being with me today. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Your fondest Dolly Parton memories. I know you're a lifelong fan of hers.
You know, I've been coming for 42 years since the park opened in 1986, and I actually met her the very first year I was here and had a lot of special memories with her after that through the years. I think I'm still in shock with the world. We weren't ready to lose her. She was a beacon of light in this world. She just made everything better.
Yeah, I know you had some personal interactions with Miss Parton as well. Can you talk about those?
Yeah, you know, like I said, I started out as a fan and through the years got to know her a little bit better and had the opportunity to be at some special events with her. I enjoyed some charitable events at her home where she did some cooking for us and singing, and it was just like being with a regular person, except you were with someone extraordinary.
Feels like everybody has their own Dolly Parton story. I know you were here when the statue opened over 30 years ago. Local artist Jimmy Gray constructed the statue. Can you talk to us about that memory?
Yeah, it was a beautiful day. You know, I think when they decided to put this statue up, I heard Dolly say many times that it was one of the things that her father was most proud of, that he was more proud of that than her being a star. And I think this place really was special to her, and to the fact that her hometown people paid such tribute to her. For all the things that she's done for this community were just incredible.
Absolutely. Jonathan, thanks so much for joining us today. I really do appreciate all of your time here, and I know it's been a hard few days for everybody here as well.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
Thanks so much, Jonathan. Yeah, it was a bit of a more of a celebratory atmosphere yesterday at Dollywood, but here a bit more melancholy as well. You could hear the bells of the Sevier County Courthouse going off right now as we hit the top of the hour. Back to you, John and Emma.
All right, Adam, thank you very much. And of course, you can't ignore those colorful balloons and bouquet of flowers that were brought up by loving and adoring fans.
Catch Focus today on the Dove TV, radio, and streaming online at thedove.us, Roku, and Apple TV.
Good morning. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Morning to you. Happy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
You got it. We're there.
Where did Wednesday go?
Yeah, it just flew by, didn't it? It was almost hump day.
Well,
almost.
Almost. I don't know. Where did Wednesday go? Anyway, good morning to you. Happy Thursday.
Yeah.
Welcome to Mornings on the Dove. A lot going on in the news. Cooler temperatures.
Yeah.
We're enjoying that. We'll have some bits on the fire with you a little bit. There are still some fires that are very problematic in our state. In the meantime, good morning to you. A lot going on in the news. There always is. And anything special?
Well, you know, are there any things that you do during the day because you got to do them? You have to do?
Oh, yeah.
We kind of have a long list in that regard, don't we?
Yeah, if you don't write your have-tos down,
yeah,
you won't do them.
Right. So today, on the other hand, it's National Just Because Day.
Just because.
Yeah, just do it just because. You don't have to. Whatever that may be.
Okay.
Tickle that, you know,
okay,
thing.
All right.
Just do stuff. Feel free to celebrate this day any way you choose, just because. And good luck with that.
Okay.
Just because you still need to do the stuff you need to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I got that.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
I know. This could be contagious
Yes.
here. You don't want it really. Anyway. It's national, and we've been celebrating this in various forms throughout the week and the month. It's National Peach Day. At the height of peach season. And, of course, we keep talking about it.
Okay, National Peach Day. I don't know. National Peach Day, which is delicious, and the peaches in Southern Oregon are so sweet. And if you haven't had any, well, go get some or go pick them yourself while they're still ripe. You can go into the orchard. You have to pay, don't get me wrong. Just don't walk into somebody's orchard. That could be a little problematic. But anyway, the peaches are really good. They're really sweet, and I would encourage you to make a peach pie. What's really cool is you whip up some vanilla ice cream in a jar, one of those little things,
okay,
and throw a peach in there.
Hey, did I mention it's National Peach Day?
Yes, you did.
Did I also mention it's National Just Because Day?
Just because.
Have a peach just because.
Just because.
Okay, moving on. And one last thing, it is National Pot de Crème Day.
Oh.
Yeah, it is a set of the table with a delicious custard dessert. Recipes for this delightful French dessert date back to the 17th century. Its name means pot of custard or pot of cream, which also refers to the baking dish that it comes in, while a pot de crème, traditionally baked in small pots with lids, they may also be baked in other small porcelain dishes. It looks wonderful. I can't say I've ever had it, though. I do like to say
You may have it, and you just didn't know it.
That's right, but I do like to say it, pot de crème.
Yeah, you do that good.
Yeah, pretty good, huh?
Not bad for having a peach on the other side.
But of course.
Okay. Just because.
Yeah, good morning.
Just because.
Yeah.
All right, good. Good morning to you. Well, let's check out the weather because it is cooling down a little bit.
Here's a look at today's weather from Grange
So much
Co-op.
for that mic check.
Across northern Oregon and southern Washington, decreasing clouds in Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville with highs in the mid to upper 70s, while early patchy fog in McMinnville becomes mostly sunny and 76. Through the Willamette Valley, Salem reaches 78 with decreasing clouds. Albany, Corvallis stay mostly sunny in the upper 70s, while Eugene becomes sunny and reaches 79. Patchy smoke in central Oregon with Prineville and Bend clearing to sunny skies in the low to mid 80s. Sun River becomes sunny in 82, while Boise stays smoky and mostly sunny with an afternoon high of 96. Along the Oregon coast, 70 in Coos Bay and 67 in Port Orford under mostly sunny skies. Brookings sees decreasing clouds with a high of 56, and early morning fog in Crescent City turns partly sunny in 62. In southern Oregon, sunny in the Rogue Valley with daytime highs of 89 in Grants Pass, 90 in Medford, and 85 in Ashland, 85 and becoming sunny with lows in the low 50s over in the Klamath Basin. In Northern California, Wairika stays sunny with a high of 91, Redding reaches 98 with increasing clouds, and Chico tops out at 97 with mostly sunny skies. In Fort Bragg, mostly sunny with a daytime high of 62. In the Bay Area, partly sunny with a high near 90 in Santa Rosa and increasing clouds and 86 in Napa. San Francisco stays partly sunny in the mid-70s, and San Jose reaches 86 with increasing clouds. For Central California, Sacramento climbs to 98 with increasing clouds, while Stockton and Modesto settle into the mid-90s. Heat and increasing clouds for Fresno and Visalia near 100, and partly sunny in Bakersfield with a high of 99. That's a look at your Thursday weather from Grange Co-op.
All right, this is a shot a few moments ago right out our door. I just walked out and I snapped this picture.
That is stunning.
So you can see our satellite dishes there. That's the moon set.
Yeah.
It's a moon set. So it's just bright. This was a few moments before that. This is taken from Roxy Ann up on the hill as the moon is setting on the west side of the valley. That's the Medford.
That is spectacular.
Isn't that something?
Wow.
So it's a beautiful, beautiful morning out there.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know if we have our other one, but there's a lot going on with the weather out there, and it's just very, very pleasant.
Yeah.
Well, there we are. There's the Rogue
go.
Valley. Now, we do have some high clouds over the top, and that's the southern end, panning towards Ashland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is current.
That's current. That's
All
right.
right.
Yep.
Wonderful.
There you
What a
go.
Beautiful place to be. All right, well, here is some encouragement with Dr. David Jeremiah as he encourages us that you can't go wrong if you follow Scripture.
Don't witness to someone in such a way that if they reject the witness, they reject you. Witness to someone in such a way that if it doesn't materialize the first time, the door is still open to continue to talk about him. How many of you didn't come to Christ the first time you heard about him? You came to Christ 4, 5, or 6 times later after someone had loved you and told you how much they loved you and told you about how much Jesus had changed their life. We can be more effective if we just follow the Scripture. We can be better in worshiping, better in walking, better in witnessing if we let the Holy Spirit control us from the inside.
Well, it's true. What is your witness?
Yeah.
You know, ask yourself, would you believe what you're telling somebody? And do you believe it? Or are you just telling them what you think they ought to hear? Or are you explaining it from experience? See?
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Speak from the heart. It works every time. All right. Good morning to you. Let's take a look at some of the top stories today. And, of course, unbelievable. In fact, it's almost, you can't put your head around it. Hundreds are missing now and are dead after the flash flood in Nepal. This is a movie. This is,
it looked like AI at first saw it. I thought this would be real. Oh, my goodness.
This mudslide came from China. Now, there's several thoughts here. Did the glacier break way that broke the mudslide that came down into Nepal and wipe out people and buildings?
Right.
Or did an earthquake trigger it? Or was this so catastrophic it's its own earthquake?
Yeah.
Those are the scenarios that are out there.
Yeah.
But hundreds are missing. Houses and roads are completely swept away. Very little warning.
Yeah. Right.
And when you watch this, you kind of go, "This isn't a movie. This is a bad day." I mean, all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're seeing houses and bridges just gone in seconds.
Yep.
And it's a mudslide at unbelievable proportions into a very poor part of the world and a very restrictive part of the world. But that's what's happening in Nepal. They're saying 340 foreigners, including Indians, Americans, and Brits, are missing.
Yeah, right.
So,
and the death toll will rise on this. Oh my goodness!
It is.
It may not be done yet.
Yeah, it's just there's some shots. Excuse me. There's some shots that show this thing coming, and you kind of go, "What triggered it?" Because it didn't look like it's raining.
Right.
It doesn't look like it was, cold or something like that. All of a sudden, this wall of mud is coming down this canyon.
Yeah. But it is so devastating. It is so amazing that literally it looks like it's not real.
It doesn't look real.
Yeah.
And you got to remember water at 8 pounds a gallon.
Oh God.
Just figure that out.
Right.
What the weight and the force is of that. So. Wow. All right, the other story is that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, after meeting with the president, and they had a long chat back and forth, he's basically saying, look, you can't trust these. And he goes on and he says, I doubt, however, that an agreement can be reached with that group. They are savages. Talking about Iran. I will say one thing. Iran gets an A+ in stringing us along.
Oh, isn't that the truth?
Okay.
Yeah.
But nothing that they have said they have fulfilled. And so the economic squeeze on Iran is happening, and the president's putting on squeeze on every country that's doing business with Iran. That's getting some backslash, especially to China. That'll become... what's interesting about the China thing? Xing's coming to the United States for a visit.
Yeah, true.
All right, so we have this problem going on, and China doesn't like this, okay?
Right.
And there's another problem. We just caught China's hand in the cookie jar.
Which jar?
Let's see here. Do I have that? I do have that story coming up in just a moment. I'll tell you what it is. The next story is, you and I have talked about this, and you kind of go, how come we haven't taken care of this? Well, we have. The United States Navy has informed the president that they have cleared out all the mines in the Straits of Hormuz.
Yeah.
They either detonate them or went and got them.
Right.
So apparently the last lane in the Straits of Hormuz is now cleared of mines, and the United States is in full control of the waterway. Now, Iran's saying, no, we're not. But apparently they have picked up the mines, or they have detonated the mines within the international water of the Straits of Hormuz, and that's pretty much a new day. So
yeah, we've been wondering about this. We thought, why couldn't they?
Yeah.
So,
well, minesweeps being what they are, and I don't know what they are. I know we have them. I don't know how they work.
Right.
But they went out and
are
got
they sweeping these days with drones?
I would imagine.
Yeah, because you know they have these underwater drone things now.
Yeah.
So I bet a lot of this is remote.
Well, yeah. Well, they're calling it a, pardon the pun, a watershed moment.
Sorry. Okay.
That the Straits of Hormuz is completely clean.
Wow.
And the international part of it is being controlled by the United States.
So how much am I going to pay today when I go fill up?
We'll go here in about 20 minutes.
Is this directly related?
Well, you're buying a gallon a day, aren't you?
I know that. I've been rationing.
Are you keeping a track of it right now? Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, here's the other story about China, and that is the United States has interrupted and disturbed the Chinese hackers that are responsible for breaking into NASA, the Federal Reserve, and other U.S. agencies. Yes. And apparently we have found it, and they find that behind the cyber intrusion at the Department of Justice, NASA, the Federal Reserve, and some other federal agencies, even members of the Senate were being hacked. So the Justice Department went in, and they have seized the internet domains used by two hacking platforms dubbed as QScan and QT Router.
Okay.
And apparently, China was doing. Now you got to think about this.
Okay.
You got Xing coming to meet with the president. They're upset because we're telling them you can't use the straits and get oil. And they're turning around and interfering into our system, hacking our information.
Yeah.
And we know that they get involved in some of the hacking when it comes to voting. And so what are these guys going to talk about?
Yeah, and
how do you like your rice? You want butter on your rice? I mean, what are you going to do here?
And this may be redundant, but is this the government? These aren't like private entities doing this, right?
No, this is the government. Well, look.
Is there
China,
anything that's not the government when it comes
in China,
to China?
it's
right.
all CCP.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, this next story. Oh, wait a minute. Do I have a little bit? Oh, I have a little bit of a comment on that. This is a guy from who is he? Oh, Todd, talking about what happened with the China hackers. Here's what he had to say.
This is state-sponsored, and this is a major national security issue for the United States. And so the work that we did over the past several months, bringing this to a stop, is something that the FBI and our great prosecutors in California have worked very hard on. The big part of this that I want people to understand is we not only stop this, but we have shared with the private sector the way that they were doing this, the way that these hackers were getting access and their codes. And so the goal there is to motivate and to use some of the really smart people here in the private sector to stop it from happening again. It's not as if by us doing this that they're going to walk away and not try again. They're going to reload and try to come at us again. And so this is a fight that we're going to continue to have.
Well, this is the new warfare.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, this is the new war. This is the new modern-day warfare.
Right.
This is really bad stuff. But I find it interesting that China and Russia are hacking into us. Let me ask you a question. We never hear about us hacking into somebody else.
Well,
we know we're doing it.
I was going to say, is that simply because we don't hear those reports?
Well, why would we report that? Well, we're going to go out on a hacking campaign today.
Right, right.
So, I mean, this is the new warfare. Everybody's hacking everybody else.
You bet. Yeah.
Now, the most vulnerable part of America is our grid system, our electrical grid system, and even some of our water grid system. So, anyway, this is the new game.
Right, and Iran's involved in it as well. And but you bring up a good point. What are we doing, to others, and how does this work? It's, I guess, a two-way street. Yeah,
it's a two-way street. Yeah. All right. Can you say 17? Let me say this. Can you say 17?
Oh, yeah, I know.
Can you say 17 billion?
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to? Well, I'm not.
Can you write a check for 17 billion?
I know, but Zuckerberg apparently can, huh?
Well, he has to.
Yeah.
Apparently, Meta lost the case.
Yep.
The Meta platforms agreed to pay around $17 billion.
Well, wait a minute. Did they lose the case?
Settling.
They settled, right. They didn't want to go to trial with it.
Okay, but isn't that an admission?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so
yes.
they lost.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, so anyway, they have agreed on a $17 billion settlement to resolve the allegations from 29 states accusing the company of engineering Facebook and Instagram to be addictive to children.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they're willing to pay $17 billion as a settlement, which means the money, I guess, goes to the states.
Who gets the money?
If it goes to the states, do the parents who have sued get that money, or does the state put it in their coffers?
Was Oregon part of the suit? Does Tina get any of this money? That she needed it. She was trying to raise our taxes.
Well, yeah. I will say Rob Bonta, he is the AG in California.
Okay.
Here's what he had to say about it.
We sued Meta over claims that it designed and deployed harmful features on Instagram and Facebook that drive compulsive use and harm young users' mental health, and that the company knew about these dangers and lied to teens, to parents, and to the public about them. We believe the proposed settlement filed today addresses some of the concerns at the core of our lawsuit, and that it will force transformative changes necessary to protect our children. And importantly, these changes will be made within months, no more waiting. For all users under 18, Meta has agreed to set a default daily time limit of 2 hours that will drop to 1 hour if other social media platforms agree to similar terms. Set a default block between midnight and 6 a.m. when our children should be sleeping, not scrolling. Set a default block on notifications between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. and during the school day, again, when our children should be sleeping and studying, not scrolling.
Okay, so look, only American courts can come up with a stupid thing like that. Either it's hazardous, it's not. And the fact that you say, well, we're not going to do it these hours, but we're going to do it these hours, is a total admission, along with $17 billion. Here's the problem. Parents, do you know if your child is addicted to this stuff? And if they are, what are you going to do about it? Because it's a matter of time. They're going to be in the hours that supposedly is not being restricted.
Are you saying parents have responsibility in this?
No, I'm sorry. Sue me.
Absolutely.
I'll settle with a scoop of vanilla. That's all I can afford.
Well, you're hitting it on the head there. Parents, you got to be involved.
Well, you have to.
Yes.
But this is here's the other thing: is what about the damage done so far? We're quick to put the term mental health involved in this.
Oh boy,
rightfully so. Okay. These kids are addicted. You're addicted. You just don't know it. Okay.
Well, thanks for that assessment.
You got your phone on you?
Yeah.
Give me your phone. Give me your phone. Okay, you just lost your phone.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. My anxiety just went up, my pulse just went up, and I think my blood pressure is rising.
$17 billion, I'll give it back.
Okay, point made.
No, I mean, we are addicted. I mean, all you got to do is lose it.
Right.
Or
you
forget
start
it
driving home and you start looking for it and it's not there. What do you do?
You panic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, you know, it is a convenient way of being informed. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
But one thing leads to another. It's designed. Now, I have to tell you that I cannot leave a social media app on my phone.
Oh.
Because, I want to say this carefully.
Please.
I'm being targeted.
Sure you are, yeah.
You say, how you know that? Oh, I know that.
Well, aren't most of us in some way?
Yes.
Yeah.
But when you are
but when you're visible,
you're a high-profile person,
yes, right?
You get another set of target to set you up. Okay. Right. And if all I have to do is go back to, and I'll go to one of the social media platforms just to check in for about 20 minutes, then I delete the app.
Oh, good for you.
If I stay on for more than an hour, all of a sudden the stuff starts showing up.
Yeah.
And I know I'm being targeted. So what Zuckerberg has admitted to here is true. And you remember when he stood up in one of the hearings and he turned around and he apologized to the parents.
Yeah.
There was a moment there where he could have redeemed himself. But this settlement now tells me he didn't mean anything.
How could he redeem himself? How could he?
Huh?
How?
He got up and he admitted he apologized.
Right.
He should have followed through right there and solved this problem.
Okay.
And he didn't do it.
All right. Well, maybe
it cost him 17 bills.
Exactly. Wow.
Can you write a check for 17 big? We'll go ahead and write it. Let's see if it cashes.
Yeah, I can write that check. You want to sign it?
Sure, why not? On your account? You bet. We'll be right back.
When life feels heavy, your body feels it, your mind feels it. That is why I created Organic Elements Wellness Spa, a place where wellness is not a luxury, it's a way of life. Step into our wellness lounge with a Himalayan salt room, infrared sauna, steam room, and invigorating cold plunge. Restore your nervous system, detox your body, and clear your mind. Then experience customized massage, advanced skin therapies, and result-driven facials, all designed to help you look as good as you feel. There's nothing else like this in Southern Oregon. This is your space to heal, to reset, to glow. Call today to book your private wellness party for up to 15 guests or surprise someone special with a gift certificate.
Visit Organic Elements Wellness Spa on East Main Street in Medford. Book online at organicelementspa.com. Wellness is wholeness. Voted best of Southern Oregon.
Thursday. The stones cry out, and archaeology is giving them a voice. Get the evidence behind the people and the places of the Bible. Dr. Jeremiah Johnston takes us inside the Jesus discoveries. Then, the enemy within.
This is the enemy versus me.
A woman goes to war against herself.
I just became obsessed with hurting myself.
How she won the battle.
Thursday on the 700 Club, right here on the Dove TV. Pastor Jack Hibbs, championing religious liberty, a deep love of God, freedom, and America. You may have seen him in the news during COVID as he pushed back against government-mandated church closures. Now you can see him on the Dove TV every weekend on Real Life with Jack Hibbs. Learn, grow in your faith, and impact the world with authentic biblical teaching. Watch Real Life with Jack Hibbs Sundays at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. on the Dove TV.
All right, welcome back. Happy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and it's Thursday all the way around. Happy Thursday to you. A lot going on in the news. A little bit of a backyard background upgrade on what's happening with the fires in the state of Oregon. 2.4 million acres have burned or continue to burn in the state. A little bit of an upgrade of the Wrights Spring Fire, which is just to the east of us here, northeast of Klamath Lake. It did grow a little bit, but so did the containment. It's up to 54, almost 55,000 acres, but they have 65% of it contained. And so that's a big fire. Just to kind of give you an idea what happened to the Hawk Fire in Reno that was really threatening a lot of homes over there. Thousands of people were evacuated. It is now 93% contained. So it looks like they got a handle on that fire. It's a little bit easier to handle in the sense that it's primarily a brush fire. They didn't have the steep hills that we have in Oregon.
Exactly.
They're kind of like a little bit of a rolling high desert thing out there.
Yeah.
So they got a handle on that. But just give you an idea of some other things that are going on in the state. The McCullough Fire, 6,000 acres. The Austin Fire, 8,000 acres. And the Hagen Fire still burning at 60,000 acres, 33% contained. So we still have a lot of fires going on, but a lot of them have been brought under control. The shorter days and the cooler temperatures certainly helping the situation.
Absolutely.
Take a look at the satellite image. Kind of gives you an idea what's going on with the weather out there. You can see moisture off coming our way. Couple things now. This certainly is keeping the temperatures down. It also puts a lot of moisture in there, and if there is some warm weather, it could develop into a thunderstorm. But we are heading into some cooler temperatures, and we certainly welcome that. We'd like to see a little rain without any lightning.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we haven't had our daily WNBA talk. But you know, the thing is, we can't avoid it. They just are always in the news for doing the wrong thing. And of course, we saw this incident with Enes Kanter Freedom, where he goes to a ball game in Chicago.
Yeah.
He celebrates Sophie Cunningham's hitting a three-pointer, and one of the opposing players gets in his face, and he gets kicked out of the arena. And we both said, you know, they'll ban him from that arena. Well, guess what? They did. It's just amazing.
He needs to sue.
You know what? That's a great point.
He needs to sue. 'Cause I would question the authority of that.
Yeah.
And I like to know what the rule was that he broke.
Great point.
What law did he break?
What did he do wrong?
What did he do wrong? To me, there is nothing wrong.
Yeah. Yep.
So somebody can wear the rainbow flag and sit there all day long.
Oh, they can. Yes, they can.
And he wears a T-shirt that defines what a woman is out of the dictionary.
And he celebrates a point made by you know, a particular person, and you know, an opposing player gets in his face. You know, in the NBA, we've seen incidents between players and fans, and the players are always reprimanded. They do not want that kind of contentious activity between players and fans, and especially if a player goes after the fan, if they're the one that instigates it. Well, the WNBA team Chicago Sky has banned Enes Kanter Freedom from their games, with the league now also considering a ban for the rest of the arenas for him. He can't go anywhere. So Freedom is an ambassador for Athletes for America and the America First Coalition, and he responded on Newsmax's Finnerty.
I'm just, you know, here to support my friend and protect women. And then she started to cuss at me. She started to yell at me. The sad thing was, she's loved by the Chicago fans, and there were a lot of kids on the stands. And I was like, I cannot believe you're doing this.
She was swearing?
Yep.
And what did you say back?
I was like, I literally simply opened my arms. I was like, I'm here to protect women, and I'm here to, you know, support my friends, Sophie Cunningham. So I played 11 years in NBA. I know the rules. As soon as a fan, you're not allowed to touch a player, or you're not allowed to step over the baseline or the sideline. So I know the rules. I played 11 years. I literally opened my arms. I'm like, I know where the baseline stands. I respect the players. I respect the rules. So that's why I did not break any kind of rules. And they should have warned me, because that's in their playbook.
All right, Dave Portnoy, Barstool Sports, also a Boston guy. He tweeted, quote, I don't think boys should be allowed to play in girls' sports. I also think Enes Kanter Freedom is an absolute clown for making this issue, his words, not mine, about him. So you're not trans. I don't think you're planning on having surgeries, top or bottom. No. I don't think so. What do you say to people who say you're doing this just for attention?
So Dave Portnoy, please come and speak to my face. Don't he's like a Twitter troll about this whole thing. But anyway, I respect him because he's a Celtics fan.
But does he have a point?
He doesn't have a point, because, listen, back in May, right, I was watching one of the games, and right after the game, I'm looking at social media. One of the players, Gabby Williams, said, I will welcome a trans athlete on my team or against my team. And for the next few months, all these players were coaches and the league itself. We welcome a trans athlete anytime. So I was like, you know what? Okay, then, let me join. Listen, I'm not a difficult person
to
deal
But are you a
with.
trans woman?
I am now. So Article 13,
but are
Section
you really?
1, Section 1 says, if you identify as a woman, you're allowed to play. So yes, I am identifying as a woman. Whoever out there, like, that's not their journey. This is my journey. I'm allowed to feel whatever I want to feel. Maybe tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I'm going to say, I feel like a Pokemon.
Right.
No one can say that, or the next day
like
I'm
a
going to
Pokemon.
come up, or a unicorn.
Or a Ninja Turtle.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
So and we are allowed to do that in America
for
some reason.
There's no rule for how a guy who wants to identify as a woman has to identify as a woman. You can be 6'10" with a beard, all right, and that's fine. That's what I like what you're doing, because I think you're pointing out the absurdity of all this.
Well, don't you think the WNBA has to be able to first define what a woman is?
Yes, they're not doing that. Yeah. Look, the whole thing is just on its ear. It's just completely upside down. It's ridiculous. Absolutely, it's ridiculous. Yeah. There's no way to defend this nonsense. Look, he's identifying it. He's making a point.
Yes, he is. That's exactly it. Yes.
So it appears to me that if they can get him kicked out of all of the arenas on some kind of a technical, and I don't even know what that is. It sounds like to me he has a defense.
Yeah, and like he said, I know the rules.
I know the rules.
Yes.
I didn't cross the line. I
Right.
didn't do it. So it sounds like to me he's got a strong defense.
Yeah.
But if they're going to attempt him to kick him out of all the arena, does that automatically disqualify him for being on the draft, and therefore the WNBA wins?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Right.
So there's a motive behind
Yeah.
this that's bigger than just this stupid argument.
Absolutely.
Okay. So the WNBA, the only way you can clean up the WNBA is not go to the games and let them dry up financially.
Absolutely. Yes.
Just don't go to the games.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And remember, 3 words, just 3 words. Adult, human, female. That takes care of it.
Yeah. Or wow. That's what Adam said.
We're driving down the road yesterday with Pam, and we're talking about the WOW NBA. I go, I can't believe Perry has labeled this thing the WOW NBA now, and that's stuck in my head.
Well, you know what's interesting is that's what Adam said when he saw Eve. That's how he described the woman. He goes, wow.
Oh, you are right. Yeah. Oh, amen.
All right, we'll be right back.
In Christ alone.
Hi, I'm the SOS Alarm Guy, here to tell you about a great deal. SOS Alarm will not only beat any internet deal, but will install the system too. So burglars, beware. SOS Alarm for security and beyond.
At Sweet Tea Express, we've got you covered. Order at the counter and our friendly service staff will do the rest. Breakfast served daily until 2 p.m. Breakfast burritos, biscuits and gravy, skillets, omelets, and more. Sweet Tea Express. Don't get caught hungry.
Take the Dove TV wherever you go worldwide. We're seen live 24/7 and streaming on demand on all major platforms, including Roku, Apple, Google, and Fire TV. Plus, you can catch the Dove TV and radio online at the new thedove.us and the Dove's new mobile app. Download today. Bring powerful, God-centered content and news with you wherever you go. From the Dove, encouraging and informative.
Okay, welcome back. And, well, the president announced yesterday that the U.S. military has cleared the Straits of Hormuz, the international waters, from mines.
Yeah.
And now, apparently, we are in control of the straits. Now, Iran says that's not true. Okay, we're not over there. We don't know.
Yeah.
But the ships are coming and going.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, and apparently we're controlling that. So anyway, let's check in with CBN News and get the latest.
To the Trump administration's economic campaign to isolate Iran. China, the top buyer of sanctioned Iranian oil, is pushing back on the policy, while Iran citizens are feeling the economic strain. CBN's Chris Mitchell reports.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio is reinforcing the administration's policy of unprecedented economic pressure on Iran and nations that do business with the regime. The approach is expected to remain in place through the U.S. midterm elections in early November, but Rubio says the military option is still on the table. China is pushing back against the economic pressure campaign, warning against what it calls illegal unilateral sanctions.
China will do everything necessary to firmly safeguard its rights and interests.
Inside Iran, the economic crisis is reaching a critical point, and ordinary citizens are paying the price. The country's currency, the rial, has plunged to a record low, while inflation is running at 87%.
Last year, since the 12-day war, business has kept crashing and stalling. Everyone is like me. We've been barely getting by.
Middle East analyst Emily Schrader says people inside Iran are ready to resist the Islamic Republic, but they need support.
They are ready to use their own lives, to use their own bodies to fight back against the Islamic Republic. They don't feel that they have the necessary arms. That's the #1 message that I'm getting from people on the ground inside of Iran.
Meanwhile, Washington is turning up the pressure on Iran's leadership, offering up to $10 million for information on senior IRGC leaders, including Supreme Leader Mujtaba Khamenei. At the same time, Rubio announced the U.S. has officially removed Syria from the U.S. list of state sponsors of terrorism after 47 years.
Today, Syria shakes off a dirty stain. I extend my sincere thanks to U.S. President Donald Trump.
And in Gaza, the U.S.-backed Board of Peace issued a rare warning, telling Israel to limit fire to genuine threats. It's also calling for all militant activity in Gaza to stop, including flying kites, which have been equipped with bombs and flown into Israeli territory in the past. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Thank you, Chris. Gordon, back over to you.
Well, things are obviously in turmoil in the Middle East. It doesn't take any deep analysis to show it. And whether it's Syria trying to come out of years of civil war, years of being a sponsor of terrorism, Turkey, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia signing a mutual defense pact, that is an earthquake level in diplomacy that has largely gone unnoticed in light of everything else happening. So if Iran launches an attack against Pakistan, against Turkey, against Saudi Arabia, they are now in a pact to say they will respond. But it just doesn't apply there. I think the main target of that pact is Israel. And would Israel ever launch any kind of attack against one of those three countries, they would all form an alliance against her. The big issue, and it is the big issue, at what point in time will the Revolutionary Guard give up? If they do, and we've said it from the start of this conflict, there are 2,000 Revolutionary Guard generals. Just wrap your head around that one. Then each one of them being paid by the state. How many officers are underneath those 2,000 generals? Each one of them being paid by the state. Now, if they run out of money, that's one thing, and that's the current goal of the economic sanctions. But they all know if they lose power, what will happen to them? What would that population do? The population that has been repressed, been shot in the streets, been hanged publicly in the squares, been jailed for no reason, beaten for no reason, beaten for having your headscarf the wrong way. All of that would be targeted to them. If they give up power, they're essentially saying we're giving up life. And will there be any exit plan for them so that they could leave? And that would be something that I just don't see ever happening. So how do we arm the population? How do we achieve peace? Again, it's all based on their ideology, but there's something even deeper than their economic interest. Their very lives are at stake, and they're probably going to cling to power as long as they possibly can.
Well, I think he's right on that. There is an element, you'll never hear about it in the news, but there is an underground, I guess you could use the term revival going on in Iran. They lost 13,000 mosques over the last 4 years.
Wow.
Because they just weren't attending. There is an underground Christian conversion going on. It's even been said that if Iran was able to return to the people, that the irony of all ironies, it would probably be designated as a Christian nation.
Wow.
So there's something else spiritually going on in the nation that you'll never hear about in the news. And the question is, where is the resolve of that? And when does God, the divine get involved in this equation.
Right.
What you're hearing now is man's problems, and they'll ever be there.
Yeah.
Okay, but at what point does God put his finger on this situation? When does he answer the prayers of those people that have been hiding out in their bunkers praying?
Yeah.
At what point does that break loose?
Yes.
So there's another dimension here that we have to take a look at that is working, and it will surface.
Yeah.
It will surface.
It brings to mind a question. You know, I know that when it comes to the word for you today, that there are some amazing things that go on in China, and that some of the things that we can't talk about.
Yeah.
Is there, what's going on in the Middle East? And is any chance that this spreads into Iran?
Well, you remember now, China is an interesting story, because China did open up for a little while there. They found a very healthy, thriving underground church. And then when Xing comes along, the CCP decides to exercise its authority, and they put the squeeze on Hong Kong when the Brits had to give up Hong Kong. That was the Chinese perfect move to go in there and put the squeeze on them, because there was a revival, above ground revival going on in Hong Kong. Okay. We were distributing the word for you today in Beijing. We had interpreters in there. And we actually got, for about a 6-month period, we got the license to print it in there as human enrichment publication.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Then that got shut down. Okay? Then they started to put the squeeze on Hong Kong. And our interpreter inside China, they raided his home, and he went out. He and his family went out the back door. Unfortunately, his passport was on the table. Okay? They caught him at the border and killed him. And we got his wife out.
Oh, wow.
Okay? And that shut our operation down in Beijing. This is a true story, folks. I'm not making this up. I sit on this international board. Okay? We got the wife out.
Wow.
To the United States. Okay? So we were unable to get in there. Well, in the meantime, a lot of the people that were in Hong Kong that got out during this takeover went to Singapore. Okay, and they're in Singapore now. And Singapore is kind of like the international melting pot of the world right now. Well, here we are several years later, and I can tell you this morning, 11 million people read this word for you today in China. I can't tell you how.
Right.
And they're sharing it electronically with at least 2 friends. That's 33 million people are reading this little book in China, everywhere but in Beijing right now.
Wow. Whoa.
So you can't underestimate what God is doing. God has another way of doing things. And we get so wrapped up in the headlines, we get so wrapped up in our feelings.
Yes.
Even though we're believers, we discount God's capability. You got to be careful about it. You got to keep your faith alive. If you don't, you'll succumb to the rest of it, you know.
Absolutely.
But there's something happening. Back to Iran.
Yeah.
Something will happen there. Mark my words, something will happen there. Right now, it doesn't look like anything because humans are involved.
Exactly.
By the way, one other little point.
Okay.
Why is Israel still standing after 78 years?
Yeah, we know.
Okay?
Yeah, we know.
Kind of interesting, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So much for that sermon. Here's the weather.
Here's a look at today's weather from Grange Co-op. Across northern Oregon and southern Washington, decreasing clouds in Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville with highs in the mid to upper 70s, while early patchy fog in McMinnville becomes mostly sunny and 76. Through the Willamette Valley, Salem reaches 78 with decreasing clouds. Albany, Corvallis stay mostly sunny in the upper 70s, while Eugene becomes sunny and reaches 79. Patchy smoke in central Oregon with Prineville and Bend clearing to sunny skies in the low to mid 80s. Sun River becomes sunny in 82, while Boise stays smoky and mostly sunny with an afternoon high of 96. Along the Oregon coast, 70 in Coos Bay and 67 in Port Orford under mostly sunny skies. Brookings sees decreasing clouds with a high of 56, and early morning fog in Crescent City turns partly sunny in 62. In southern Oregon, sunny in the Rogue Valley with daytime highs of 89 in Grants Pass, 90 in Medford, and 85 in Ashland, 85 and becoming sunny with lows in the low 50s over in the Klamath Basin. In northern California, Wairika stays sunny with a high of 91. Redding reaches 98 with increasing clouds, and Chico tops out at 97 with mostly sunny skies. In Fort Bragg, mostly sunny with a daytime high of 62. In the Bay Area, partly sunny with a high near 90 in Santa Rosa and increasing clouds and 86 in Napa. San Francisco stays partly sunny in the mid-70s, and San Jose reaches 86 with increasing clouds. For Central California, Sacramento climbs to 98 with increasing clouds, while Stockton and Modesto settle into the mid-90s. Heat and increasing clouds for Fresno and Visalia near 100, and partly sunny in Bakersfield with a high of 99. That's a look at your Thursday weather from Grange Co-op.
Oh, I hear it. I hear that band.
Banjo band.
Yeah, well, most of us are familiar with it. It was created because of an argument and was first published on this day in history. On August 27, 1955, the very first Guinness Book of Records was published, and it all started with an argument. In 1951, Guinness executive Sir Hugh Beaver was on a hunting trip when he and his friends began arguing over the fastest game bird in Europe. They couldn't find a book that had the answer, so Beaver decided to create one. The first Guinness Book of Records was supposed to be a free promotional giveaway in British and Irish pubs. Instead, people loved it, and by Christmas, it was a bestseller. And although there are now over 70,000 world records currently documented, some records from those early editions still stand today. Bing Crosby's White Christmas, written by Irving Berlin, remains the best-selling physical single ever with an estimated 50 million copies sold. And American Robert Wadlow remains the tallest person ever recorded, an astonishing 8 feet 11.1 inches tall. So Guinness started as a way to settle arguments in pubs and ended up creating a record of its own. How about that? 70,000 records. Pick one. You can get in there yourself.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll have to think of that.
But not the tallest person.
Not the tallest
that
person.
That's not attainable.
That's not going to work.
Yeah.
So, we're mourning the loss of Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
And but she's there's still a lot out there about her. And but did you know that she wrote a song about Eugene, Oregon?
I did not.
Here you go.
Years ago, when I was working with Porter, we had been on a tour. Porter Wagner, I'm sorry, I just assumed everybody linked us together. Anyway, we used to do a lot of duet songs, and I traveled with his show for a long time. And we had been on the road and was so far away from home that I got sick. I was bad sick. It was in the dead of winter, and I was the only girl on the road, and I didn't really want anybody to have to take care of me. I was kind of embarrassed for, when you're sick, you don't like people to see you sick. One night we were in Eugene, Oregon, and Coat of Many Colors was a pretty big record then. And so I told Porter, I said, I want to start seeing if I can get dressed today, and I'm going to go out on stage tonight. So I went out on stage, and I was so weak that when I came out, he had told him that I was sick, but I wanted to come out. And so I got a standing ovation. And so I started to sing Coat of Many Colors, and they stood up again, and I just started crying because I was so touched by it, and it was like a friend from home or something. And so that night after the show, I wrote a song, and it said something about Eugene, Oregon. I'll remember you for the rest of my life. I won't forget how good you've been to me, and I won't be forgetting all the kindness that you showed to a homesick country girl a long, long way from Tennessee. And it says, tired and weary and feeling low, and among strange people I didn't know, a long, long way from home and a long time gone. But Eugene, Oregon, you were kind. The love you gave was genuine. You gave me inspiration and the strength to carry on. And it goes on into, the only way I could thank you was to sit down and write you this song.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
So I understand today, or maybe next Thursday, I forget, radio stations, country western stations across the country are going to go all Dolly for a day.
Excellent. And by the way, did you notice all the flags at half-staff yesterday?
The president ordered that.
That was fabulous.
Yeah.
Oh.
And even the King's Guard at Buckingham Palace played a tribute to Dolly Parton there in the courtyard.
Wow. Wow.
At the Buckingham Palace.
Fantastic.
But apparently the country western stations across the country are going to do like an all-day.
Great.
So good stuff. All right, we'll take all of a 2-minute break.
When life feels heavy, your body feels it, your mind feels it. That is why I created Organic Elements Wellness Spa, a place where wellness is not a luxury, it's a way of life. Step into our wellness lounge with a Himalayan salt room, infrared sauna, steam room, and invigorating cold plunge. Restore your nervous system, detox your body, and clear your mind. Then experience customized massage, advanced skin therapies, and result-driven facials, all designed to help you look as good as you feel. There's nothing else like this in Southern Oregon. This is your space to heal, to reset, to glow. Call today to book your private wellness party for up to 15 guests or surprise someone special with a gift certificate.
Visit Organic Elements Wellness Spa on East Main Street in Medford. Book online at organicelementsspa.com. Wellness is wholeness. Voted best of Southern Oregon.
Jesus is the answer for the world today. Above him there's no other, 'cause Jesus is the way. Jesus is the answer for the world today. Above him there's no other, 'cause Jesus is the way. Sing along.
Pastor Jack Hibbs, championing religious liberty, a deep love of God, freedom, and America. You may have seen him in the news during COVID as he pushed back against government-mandated church closures. Now you can see him on theDove TV every weekend on Real Life with Jack Hibbs. Learn, grow in your faith, and impact the world with authentic biblical teaching. Watch Real Life with Jack Hibbs Sundays at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. on theDove TV.
Hey, how y'all doing out there? Happy. All right, gas tax and the governor in the state of Oregon.
Yeah.
Okay, remember that fiasco?
Oh, yeah.
Well, Oregon's 2nd Congressional Congressman Cliff Bentz weighed in on that issue, and here's what he had to say.
I think that our governor is one of the least popular governors in the United States. I think she might be the least popular governor.
Right.
And that kind of... let me just, there's many words you could put on that policy, but the one that fits a lot is that you don't tax Oregonians without going out and explaining to them exactly what you're doing, how are you doing it, and why it's going to work. And they didn't do any of that. They did none of it. And you can't just show up and go, hey, surprise, we're going to start taxing the heck out of you, and you can't do that. There's a list I've put together of 27 things that Democrat rule has brought our state to, and it's and it's a report card on what 40 years of Democrat rule have done to this state. And our governor, has been present during many of those years, either as Speaker of the House or now as governor. This list should be a total embarrassment to her, and I think that it is. Being 49th in the nation when it comes to 4th grade math and reading performance, 49th in the nation. I mean, this goes on corporate tax competitiveness. Let me mention one thing, and it has to do with health care, because our governor would be the first one to criticize when we tried and are doing our best to rein in the abuses in Medicaid. And she would be talking about affordability and that kind of thing. What she is overlooking completely is her policies are driving business out of this state.
Right.
Business is the one that pays for really good insurance that helps keep down the cost of insurance across the board. But as businesses leave the state, that part of funding our hospitals goes with them. Right. And thus, many of the things you see on this list go back to really bad government policies that are causing people to leave the state.
Amazing. Okay, well, Tina, Governor Kotek is running against Trump, and trying to tag Christine to that, and Christine is running for the state of Oregon to improve all these mistakes.
Good stuff.
Decision is yours if you get out and vote.
All right. Well, here's a great story about good stewardship.
Here's some good news from the wild. India's Asiatic lion population has grown by an incredible 70% in just 10 years. In 2015, there were 523 of these rare lions in western India. Today, there are 891. And the lions aren't just increasing in number, they're expanding their territory. Their range has grown to nearly 35,000 square kilometers across 11 districts. It's a remarkable turnaround for a species that had dwindled to just 60 to 80 animals in the 1980s. Conservation efforts, including protecting habitat and rebuilding populations of the deer, antelope, and wild pigs the lions depend on for food, have helped fuel the comeback. And there's another encouraging sign. Lions have naturally returned to Barda Wildlife Sanctuary, where they had disappeared nearly 200 years ago. 17 now live there year-round. For a species that once faced a very uncertain future, the roar of the Asiatic lion is getting louder.
Here, kitty, kitty,
Here,
kitty,
kitty. Yeah. Thank you. Alice kind of edited out the part about where they get their food, you know?
Oh, yeah, well, that's Mother Nature.
Yeah.
Ephesians 6:10, finally, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of His might. Not yours, His.
The world has a view, but God has the vision. An inspirational talk show blending heartfelt storytelling with practical insight to help you live with clarity, compassion, and vision. Join Alveda King Tuesdays on theDove TV.
When technology slows you down, your business and your life feels it. That's where Rogue Tech Pros comes in. We provide business technology services, managed IT services, and custom phone systems for businesses and homes. Our award-winning team takes time to understand your unique needs and builds a customized plan to keep your systems running smoothly so you can focus on growing your business while we handle the IT headaches. Find us at RogueTechPros.com. RogueTechPros.com. We keep IT simple.
If you don't drive it, donate it. By supporting us, you'll get even more mileage out of it.
Thank you from theDove TV.
Most people have no idea what their money is funding. That's why it's so important to know who you're investing in and what they stand for. At Financial Issues, we help Christians invest with biblical values. Our daily live broadcast covers the economy, markets, and even politics through a financial lens grounded in a biblical worldview. Watch Financial Issues daily at 5 p.m. Pacific Time right here on theDove.
Grab a cup of coffee
and start your day right.
Join us for Mornings on the Dove.
Morning. Good morning. You're tuned to theDove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on theDove.
Well, good morning to you. Happy, I can't believe it's Thursday.
It is.
I go, what happened to Wednesday? Was it Wednesday yesterday?
Yeah, it was almost hump day. Yeah,
It was?
Yeah, it went so fast that we didn't really hump
It wasn't even a speed bump.
Yeah. Yeah, good.
I don't know what happened. Here we are Thursday already. Anyway, good morning to you. Beautiful weather. It's cooler in our backyard. We welcome that. And it's going to get even drop a few more degrees as we head into the weekend.
Yeah.
By the way, this coming Monday, a lot of schools will start, even though Labor Day is the following weekend.
Right.
So Monday, some schools are already in session, but a big portion of the schools will start Monday, which means the school zones will be 22 miles an hour.
Yeah, try that.
Yeah.
You see how it works for you.
20 miles an hour, not 21, not 22, 20.
Yeah.
Anyway, just keep that in mind. So we're going into a cool weekend. Good morning to you. A lot in the news. There always is. Jerry's here, which is remarkable.
Yeah.
Another day in Hollywood. What's up?
Oh, well, you know, I was just wondering, do you ever have things that you have to do during the course of your work day, your business day?
Yes.
Yeah. I think we all do.
You know what I have to do about the things I have to do?
What do you do?
I write them down or I will not do them.
That is a great
And the reason I write them down, because when I sit down at my desk, they're staring at me.
Yeah, true.
And the only way I can get rid of them is to do them and check them off.
Yeah.
Otherwise, procrastination being what it is, and we all have an A+ in it.
Yeah.
You'll put it off until tomorrow.
Preach it.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, because we do have a lot of things that we have to do every day. Today is a special day. It's a National Just Because Day. Do something else. Get rid of that list. Just because. Good luck with that. Yeah. No. It'd be nice. It's a great thought. But maybe there's some folks who do that too often.
Yep.
They need to get off of that. But anyway, just because. It's also, and we've been celebrating this a lot in a lot of different forms. And today, just in its purity, it's National Peach Day. At the height of peach season there, we look at it. Okay, so when you get a peach, do you defuzz it or do you just go on with it? How do you do that?
Well, it depends. I have known to sink my teeth into a juicy peach.
Yeah, I like it defuzzed.
But you got to kind of clean them off a little bit first.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? They have in most of the packing houses in San Joaquin Valley, they send them through a cleaning, a machine, and they all have brushes and they spin them, and they come off with all that fuzz off of it, and that's a good thing. But,
no, but they're so sweet this year.
Oh, they're wonderful.
And there's a couple of places where you can go to the orchard and pick, not arbitrarily. I mean, you're going to pay to go in there.
Okay.
But, and they're so sweet. Boy, they're so sweet. And Peggy's made a pie, a turnover, or something like a turnover. It's got another name. It's just absolutely delicious.
Yeah, and you know what? I have a lot, we have similar agriculture backgrounds. I spent a lot of my summers while I was in school working at one time in peach orchards and in peach packing houses. And, yes, and I never have ever gotten tired of eating peaches. I don't care. There are boxes all around. They come in big bins. And I've done everything from dump the pails into the bins to stacking the boxes as they come out of the packing area. And but
my buddy Bud, he's probably
how's Bud?
Well, he's fine. His family had peaches, pears.
Nectarines
and chickens.
What a combo!
So they had pears, peaches, and eggs. Okay. But we lived in the other part, and we were surrounded by tomato and alfalfa. So I would get I'd get little side jobs with a shovel, diverting the water down the various tracts of the tomato field or out in the alfalfa field.
All right, doing irrigation work, huh?
Doing irrigation work.
Yeah. With the little siphon tubes that go over the
Well, yeah, but in those, gosh, this really goes back. This is when you had the water going down a ditch, and you'd put a little piece of canvas in it and block it up and go this way with it.
Right.
And then you dig a hole in the levee and let it go out.
Cool. Wow.
That was before those aluminum pipe things.
Okay.
But anyway, a little country work. I'm coming to think of it, I don't remember getting paid. I remember the work, but I don't remember the pay.
Reparations.
There we go. Tomato reparation. There we go.
That's right.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Okay, and one last thing. It is National Pot de Crème Day. If you spell it out, it looks like Pots de Creme, but it's pot de creme.
Pot de creme.
Say that, yes. Thank you very much. It is it sets the table with a delicious custard dessert. We're looking at it right now. Recipes for this delightful French dessert go all the way to the 17th century. Its name means pot of custard or pot of cream. It also refers to the baking dish. And while pot de creme traditionally baked in small pots with lids, they may also be baked in other small porcelain dishes. Looks wonderful. I'd like to try it sometime. I haven't yet, but
I can say I've had it. It's wonderful.
Okay, looks like it. Yeah. Nothing bad about that. So.
No, it has a kind of a creme brulee look to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's very chocolatey.
You're like a connoisseur there, aren't you?
Well, I don't know. I just like food.
Yeah. Okay.
It agrees with me a lot.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Oh, here you go.
Good stuff.
All right, let's check out the creme brulee of weather right here.
Here's a look at today's weather from Grange Co-op. Across northern Oregon and southern Washington, decreasing clouds in Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville with highs in the mid to upper 70s, while early patchy fog in McMinnville becomes mostly sunny and 76. Through the Willamette Valley, Salem reaches 78 with decreasing clouds. Albany, Corvallis stay mostly sunny in the upper 70s, while Eugene becomes sunny and reaches 79. Patchy smoke in central Oregon with Prineville and Bend clearing to sunny skies in the low to mid 80s. Sun River becomes sunny in 82, while Boise stays smoky and mostly sunny with an afternoon high of 96. Along the Oregon coast, 70 in Coos Bay and 67 in Port Orford under mostly sunny skies. Brookings sees decreasing clouds with a high of 56, and early morning fog in Crescent City turns partly sunny in 62. In southern Oregon, sunny in the Rogue Valley with daytime highs of 89 in Grants Pass, 90 in Medford, and 85 in Ashland, 85 and becoming sunny with lows in the low 50s over in the Klamath Basin. In northern California, Wairika stays sunny with a high of 91, Redding reaches 98 with increasing clouds, and Chico tops out at 97 with mostly sunny skies. In Fort Bragg, mostly sunny with a daytime high of 62. In the Bay Area, partly sunny with a high near 90 in Santa Rosa and increasing clouds and 86 in Napa. San Francisco stays partly sunny in the mid-70s, and San Jose reaches 86 with increasing clouds. For Central California, Sacramento climbs to 98 with increasing clouds, while Stockton and Modesto settle into the mid-90s. Heat and increasing clouds for Fresno and Visalia near 100, and partly sunny in Bakersfield with a high of 99. That's a look at your Thursday weather from Grange Co-op.
Yeah, this is a picture that I took about an hour ago, and that's the moon set. That's right outside our door here. See our satellite dishes there? And so that's the moon set. And then there's another one we have of it taken from Roxy, and that's the same picture taken from the top of the hill.
Beautiful.
So we had a beautiful moon set, full moon set, just gorgeous. So, and then we have the everyday picture out there, which is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and still extreme fire danger, so be careful with all that. But there it is. This is our sunrise this morning. Isn't that pretty?
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
If you notice now, we've been talked about this, where the sun is on the right side of Mount Pitt.
Yeah.
Earlier during the summer, it was clear over to the left side between the last tree and that radio tower over there.
Yes.
Now it's on the right side of Mount Pitt, so that shows you the seasonal change. And the sun's coming up, so gorgeous day in the neighborhood.
Bringing on that super El Nino.
El Nino, which is now conflicting. We can't get these. Well, we can't get these climatologists to agree on anything.
They don't agree. Yes.
They're highly educated. Maybe that's the problem. You guys ever walk outside and just take a look?
We'll set them straight.
All right.
Well, here's a rhetorical question. As I look to the camera, are you sure of your salvation? Do you ever question your salvation? Well, here is some encouragement with Dr. David Jeremiah.
Let's face it, we're never going to keep all of his commandments. We're never going to lose all the things that we do that are wrong. We're never going to love all the people that we should love. We're never going to do all the right things. But let me tell you, the fact that these experiences have come into our lives and are a part of who we are, that we even think about them and talk about them, and they were absent before we became Christians, that gives us assurance that we have something new going on. And one of the great joys of being the pastor of this church is to watch that happen in so many lives. People come and they give their heart to Christ, And a year later, I check on them, and it's like they're not even the same person. They've just been totally changed, and they're different. That's what the business of salvation is to change us. Amen? And make us God's people.
Okay. Amen.
Amen. All right, good morning to you. 10 minutes past the hour. Top stories today, kind of interesting. And of course, our hearts are really torn by what we're seeing coming out of Nepal there in Tibet, the border of Nepal and Tibet. Apparently, there were. This is I look.
Yeah.
A mudslide came out of and into Nepal and out of the Tibet area, and it is. This almost looks like a bad movie.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And there's quite a few people now dead and hundreds that are missing. In fact, 340 foreigners, which include Indians, Americans, and Brits, are still missing and unaccounted for. And it's kind of a mystery. This was a big mudslide that came out of the Tibet area, came down this canyon, which they think was triggered from like an ice.
Like a glacier?
Like a glacier.
Yes, right.
But they're not sure if the glacier melted and broke loose.
Or if it was an earthquake. Yeah.
Or if when this thing broke loose, it created its own seismic reading.
The water. Oh, my word.
This is absolutely horrific. And so be in prayer that it's already a poor country. But when you see some of the video coming out of there and the images, it's just unbelievable. I don't know if these people had any warning.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
But anyway, we'll keep an eye on that. In the meantime, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the President have been talking back and forth. What do they do with Iran? Do they continue military action? Do we try to negotiate something? Is the economic squeeze starting to work? And basically what Benjamin Netanyahu told President Trump was that the agreement can never be reached with this group with a bunch of savages. And that's strong words. He's basically saying, look, name me one thing from the time you tried to negotiate to where you are today that's gotten you anywhere.
In fact, since the regime came to power.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the bottom line here is the Iranians have done, we're talking about the regime here now.
Yeah.
The regime has done nothing to show good faith in negotiations. The economic squeeze is working, and the economic squeeze is also putting the squeeze on any nation that does business with Iran, which now is putting some pressure on China, and they don't like it. They're pushing back. And so we'll see where this is going to go. In the meantime, as you know, the president of China wants to come meet with the president of the United States. In the meantime, China's not happy because they can't get their oil, and we're not happy because China is hacking some of our systems.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. The other thing is the president did go online yesterday, actually on his thing called the Trump Social, or whatever he calls himself. What's it called? The Truth Social.
Yeah.
Truth Social. And X. And he basically said that he's been notified that the Navy has removed or detonated all the mines from international waters in the Straits of Hormuz. And this is capping months of long American operations to neutralize one of Iran's most powerful remaining tools in the economic pressure. It looks like the United States now is in control of the complete strait. And the question is, of course, Iran's denying that. But you and I have talked about this. Why haven't they done something about the mines? Well, apparently they have.
Yeah.
So they went out there and got them or detonated them. So a minesweeper being what it is, I haven't seen a modern minesweeper.
Yeah, I was wondering, do they do it through like a drone, an underwater drone?
Well, you know, that's a good question.
Yeah,
In today's technology, you wonder.
Yeah.
And the ones they detonated was an overhead drone where they just fire at it?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. That's a good question.
So infrared X-ray being what it is, they certainly know where they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, apparently the mines have been mined out, and that's the end of that. So, in the meantime, let's see here. The United States has interrupted a major Chinese hacking operation. The Department of Justice, the NASA, Federal Reserve, and the Senate were all targeted by the Chinese, and the Justice Department announced that it seized the internet domains used by two of the hacking platforms dubbed as QScan and QT Router. Apparently, these are the two domains that they found that were hacking American systems. And if you can imagine this, that the DOJ was being hacked, NASA was being hacked, the Federal Reserve was being hacked, and members of the Senate were being hacked. Okay, so in the meantime, here's what the Attorney General had to say about that.
This is state-sponsored, and this is a major national security issue for the United States. And so the work that we did over the past several months, bringing this to a stop, is something that the FBI and our great prosecutors in California have worked very hard on. The big part of this that I want people to understand is we not only stop this, but we have shared with the private sector the way that they were doing this, the way that these hackers were getting access and their codes. And so the goal there is to motivate and to use some of the really smart people here in the private sector to stop it from happening again. It's not as if by us doing this that they're going to walk away and not try again. They're going to reload and try to come at us again. And so this is a fight that we're going to continue to have.
Okay, of course, you got China hacking us, you got Russia hacking us.
You have Iran involved in these activities?
Well, apparently so, but this is the new warfare.
Absolutely.
This is the new warfare. So now, folks, before you run home and say, oh boy, how bad those people are, look, this is the new warfare. We're hacking too.
Oh, we must be somewhere.
Yeah, how else do we get our intelligence?
Yes.
So anyway,
how's the security around here, by the way?
Well, I don't know. I think I'm going to have you guys dress in metal suits.
We're going to put foil on our heads.
Yeah, I'm going to have either those little hats with the propellers on them.
Do it.
Have you guys walk around. Okay. Well, Ken, you have your checkbook with you? Would you mind writing a check for $17 billion?
Oh, yeah, I can write that, but don't...
Mark Zuckerberg has agreed to write a check for $17 billion as a settlement to resolve the allegations that 29 states are accusing his company, Meta, for engineering Facebook and Instagram to be addictive to children. Wow. This is a huge admission.
Yeah.
And so 29 states have sued Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, and he decided to settle for $17 billion to be paid out over a period of time. You know what was really odd about this whole story yesterday? Meta stock went up 4%.
How does that work? I mean, serious?
I think what it is, look, I'm just trying to think how a big business guy would think. Okay, you got the lawsuit off your back.
Oh.
Okay, now we can continue on doing business.
Business as normal.
Okay. So anyway, $17 billion are going to be paid to 29 different states. Now, I don't know how that makes it down to a family that filed charges where their child was injured by all of this.
Yeah.
Do they actually get some compensation out of this?
Yeah, that's a big question. Who gets the money?
I don't know. Yeah. Follow the money. But anyway, here's what California Attorney General Rob Bonda had to say.
We sued Meta over claims that it designed and deployed harmful features on Instagram and Facebook that drive compulsive use and harm young users' mental health, and that the company knew about these dangers and lied to teens, to parents, and to the public about them. We believe the proposed settlement filed today addresses some of the concerns at the core of our lawsuit, and that it will force transformative changes necessary to protect our children. And importantly, these changes will be made within months, no more waiting. For all users under 18, Meta has agreed to set a default daily time limit of 2 hours that will drop to 1 hour if other social media platforms agree to similar terms. Set a default block between midnight and 6 a.m. when our children should be sleeping, not scrolling. Set a default block on notifications between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. and during the school day, again, when our children should be sleeping and studying, not scrolling.
Well, look, this is so crazy. Okay, so Meta admits that they are doing this to the point where they're really to write a check for $17 billion over a period of time to these 29 states, number one. Number two, now they're negotiating what hours that they can go ahead and harm people and what hours that they won't harm people, which in itself, you kind of go, only, this guy's got to be insane to come up with a decision like this.
Yeah, well, you know what I wonder is, like, why did Mark Zuckerberg decide to set, what would have been the other course of action if he had not settled for $17 billion? It goes to court. Was he trying to protect himself from testifying?
Well,
I read that he did not want to get on the stand and try and defend this.
Okay, you got to remember when he was called in before the Senate hearing,
Right,
and they put him on the spot, he stood up at the shock of his attorneys and turned around and apologized to the parents in the room.
Yeah.
Now he would be forced to go on a witness stand, take the oath, which now puts him in a perjury problem. Okay, yeah. Did you mean what you said when you turned around to those parents and then you turned around and you kept doing it?
Good point.
So he had to get out from underneath this thing.
Couldn't he pull a Fauci? 100 and how many times?
When your last name becomes a verb, that's a bad day.
You got a problem.
You've been Fauci'd.
You've been Fauci'd.
Okay, well, so I think what it is, the other thing, he's obviously protecting his company. $17 billion is better than losing a lawsuit for maybe 3 times that amount.
Okay, yeah, good point.
Okay,
yeah.
But here's the hypocrisy of Mark Zuckerberg. He apologized and he kept on doing it.
Oh, yeah.
He had a moment there. He had a moment there to redeem his company, and he didn't do it. So, and I don't know if it's him or his advisors or his attorneys.
True.
When you become that big in volume and everything, everybody else is running the company that you founded but you.
Yeah, good point, yeah.
How do I know that? You want to see my attorney bill? All right, so much for all those bananas. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare. Your loved one can spend the day with us, and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living, your home.
They travel across America to give an answer for questions, doubts, and challenges concerning faith.
The Gospels are historically reliable.
Their mission, present truth, faith, and help people find purpose.
Not based on blind faith.
Join them as they strive to make a lasting impact on lives and hearts for Christ.
They're either all wrong or one of them's right. I got to go to the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Don't miss Give Me an Answer, weekdays at 3 on the Dove TV.
Orthodox Christianity has existed for 2,000 years. Yet many people know very little about its history, its worship, or the ancient Christian faith it preserves. Hi, I'm Paulina Leiser. Join me each week as we explore the beauty and depth of this historic Christian tradition and its place in the modern world.
Don't miss The Ancient Church, conversations about Orthodox Christianity, Sundays at 6 p.m. on the Dove TV.
Hey, how y'all doing out there? Happy Thursday. Gosh, I'm still trying to figure out. I woke up this morning, I'm standing in the shower, I go, gosh, is this Wednesday or is this Thursday?
Yeah.
You know, that's a sign of something.
Oh, no. Oh, no, don't do it. Would you like to share?
Well, you know, there was a time I used to be able to jump up and pull both socks on at the same time.
Oh, don't even talk about putting socks on.
So
Come
when
on,
I get
man.
down there now, I thought, well, should I go just go ahead and look for bugs while I'm down here? You know, what should I do? Should I clean up underneath the, you know?
Oh, gosh.
All right, moving right along.
Yeah.
All right, backyard news. The fires in the state of Oregon, wow, what a season. One of the worst in the history. 2.4 million acres burned or have burned in the state of Oregon. And a little bit of an update. The Wright's Spring Fire, which is to the east of us here, northeast of Klamath Lake, did increase in size a little bit, but so did the containment. It is now almost 55,000 acres, but 65% contained. Big fire, big fire. Let me just say this. The other fire that had a lot of people really on edge was the Hawk Fire just north of Reno that was coming down the hill. Thousands of people evacuated. A few structures were burned, but they quickly got on it. And that 15,000 acre fire is now 93% contained. That's the Hawk Fire in Reno. Back to Oregon, the McCully Fire is still 6,000 acres burning. So is the Austin Fire. It's 8,000 acres burning. And the Hagen Fire is 60,000 acres burning and about 33% contained. Been a horrible, horrible season. So the only thing I can say is, folks, please be careful out there. All right, let's take a look at Wall Street for a Thursday, better known as Friday Eve. Thank you, Preston. Smart Lawn helping us with this morning. In the meantime, the Dow is off a little bit, down 62.5 points. The Nas went the other way. Wow, it's up 242 points. And the S&P, which is pretty much drives all of this, 25.90 points. So kind of a mixed bag at the ringing of the bell this morning. That has taken gold down even a little bit further, 46.24. Silver's at 67, almost $68. And crude oil's back up $1.50.
Why? Don't they realize that the mines have been cleared?
I don't know.
Huh?
Tell these guys.
Come on.
$89.09. So look. Buy a half a gallon.
Let me check to see if I have that much.
Right, there you go.
Well, you know, we keep talking about the WNBA.
Wow.
Yeah, wow is right. Man, it's just continuing in the news. And obviously a lot of this publicity is not good publicity, but, you know, there's an old saying that there is no such thing as bad publicity.
Right.
As long as you keep talking about it, it's got to be good.
As long as you spell my name right.
Yeah. Good point. Yes. Well, we're spelling it right, WNBA. We're just not sure what that W stands for.
Wow, stands
right?
for wow.
Wow.
See, I figured that out.
Yeah.
When God brought Adam, or Eve to Adam, what did he say? Wow. That's what it stands for.
I think you got it. I think you got it.
Okay.
Well, we've been talking about Enes Kanter Freedom, ex-NBA player, played 11 years in the league, and he went to the go see a ball game in Chicago, and he's supporting his friend Sophie Cunningham. She hits a three. He gets up, celebrates for her, and boy, the opposing team, they didn't like that too much. One of the players went at him, and he eventually gets tossed out. Nothing that he did, you know, and we predicted, look out, he'll probably get banned from that arena, and indeed he has.
Wow.
And now they are even considering, the league is considering banning him from the other arenas as well. Well, Freedom is an ambassador for Athletes for America and the America First Coalition, and he responded on Newsmax's Finnerty.
I'm just, you know, here to support my friend and protect women. And then she started to cuss at me. She started to yell at me. The sad thing was, she's loved by the Chicago fans, and there were a lot of kids on the stands. And I was like, I cannot believe you're doing this.
She was swearing?
Yep.
And what did you say back?
I was like, I literally simply opened my arms. I was like, I'm here to protect women, and I'm here to, support my friends, Sophie Cunningham. So I played 11 years in NBA. I know the rules. As soon as a fan, you're not allowed to touch a player, or you're not allowed to step over the baseline or the sideline. So I know the rules. I played 11 years. I literally opened my arms. I'm like, I know where the baseline stands. I respect the players. I respect the rules. So that's why I did not break any kind of rules. And they should have warned me, because that's in their playbook.
All right, Dave Portnoy, Barstool Sports, also a Boston guy. He tweeted, quote, I don't think boys should be allowed to play in girls' sports. I also think Enes Kanter Freedom is an absolute clown for making this issue, his words, not mine, about him. So you're not trans. I don't think you're planning on having surgeries, top or bottom. No. I don't think so. What do you say to people who say you're doing this just for attention?
So Dave Portnoy, please come and speak to my face. Don't. He's like a Twitter troll about this whole thing. But anyway, I respect him because he's a Celtics fan.
But does he have a point?
He doesn't have a point because, listen, back in May, right, I was watching one of the games, and right after the game, I'm looking at social media. One of the players, Gabby Williams, said, I will welcome a trans athlete on my team or against my team. And for the next few months, all these players were coaches and the league itself. We welcome a trans athlete anytime. So I was like, you know what? Okay, then let me join. Listen, I'm not a difficult person.
But
to
are you a
deal with.
trans woman?
I mean, I am now. So Article 13,
but are you
Section
really?
1, Section 1 says, if you identify as a woman, you're allowed to play. So yes, I am identifying as a woman. Whoever out there, like that's not their journey. This is my journey. I'm allowed to feel whatever I want to feel. Maybe tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I'm going to say, I feel like a Pokemon.
Right.
No one can say that, or the next day
Like
I'm
a
going to come
Pokemon.
up, or a unicorn.
Or a Ninja Turtle.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
So and we are allowed to do that in
Hey,
America for some reason.
There's no rule for how a guy who wants to identify as a woman has to identify as a woman. You can be 6'10" with a beard, all right, and that's fine. That's what I like what you're doing, because I think you're pointing out the absurdity of all this.
Yeah.
Well, it clearly is.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. But look, if they decide to ban him from all of the games, that is their way to get him off the draft list.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Okay, and if they get him off the draft list, then his point of absurdity kind of goes away.
Does he have a lawsuit if they do?
Oh, I think he's got a huge lawsuit. And the question is, does the league have the right to do what they did to him when he knows what the rules are, and he didn't break any rules? They have to prove that he broke a rule, and he hasn't broken any rules.
Exactly.
So I think he's got a huge lawsuit. Now, he is a Christian. He may not pursue that avenue.
Oh, yeah.
He just may try to be making the point. He's trying to make the point of the absurdity of the whole thing.
Right.
But if they banned him from all of the games, in a really weird way, they win.
Yes.
Because they got him off the draft list.
Okay.
And that's what they really want to do.
All right. Well, so far, all of this is talk, but the day is coming. There is going to be a transgender player who comes and tries to get into this league. Will that force the league's hand in actually then defining what a woman is and what their rules are going to be?
Well, you would think, but common sense is now extinct in America. So I don't know where this is going to go. The WNBA would not be in existence without the NBA. They are the financial underwriters of this league. Okay, and I think what you need to do is, it's sad. Women's sports is under, you don't see men's sports under attack, just women's sports.
Right.
So I think the fans just need not to go. Let it dry up.
Yeah, well, they have this thing going on right now where we have a couple players, Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham, and
they're classic players,
right? And they're actually drawing more fans into the building. Now, much to the chagrin of some of the officials in the WNBA, because they're not welcoming this. They really don't understand which side of the bread they're getting the butter on.
So here's what those two players, Cunningham and Clark, ought to do.
Yeah.
They ought to make themselves available for the NBA draft.
No.
No. All right. The NBA will say no. Okay. And so they draw a line in the sand. I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
You know what's really sad about this?
What?
The biggest negative about this is it gets down into high school sports.
Yeah.
That's the bad part, because young ladies are going to lose their scholarships in sports if this continues.
Right.
And it's an absurdity.
Yeah.
And it's a slap in God's face.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. All right, so what do we have today?
Oh, we have peaches.
Oh, peaches.
And we have pot de crème.
Pot de crème.
Yeah.
Okay, both of those sound good. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Your yard is where life happens, but it can be muddy and hard to maintain. Enjoy a maintenance-free artificial turf lawn all year round with Smart Lawn LLC. No mowing, no fertilizing, no watering. Our synthetic grass is beautiful and resilient. It's certified to be lead-free, and there's no need for pesticides. Safe for your children and pets. Smart Lawn LLC has all your artificial turf and putting green areas covered beautifully. 541-941-3538.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
In a world desperately seeking truth, Cliff Connectley and his son Stuart travel across the U.S. to give an answer for questions, doubts, and challenges concerning faith.
What is the evidence that Muhammad spoke the truth? What is the evidence that Jesus Christ spoke the truth?
Their mission is to ignite a passion for truth, guide individuals to embrace faith, and help people find purpose, engaging skeptics.
It kind of sounds like then that God punished us. The vast majority of chaos in nature is a direct result of God stepping back.
They're driven by a deep commitment for spreading the message of Christ to a world who needs it.
But you see, what Satan has done is he's put doubt in our mind.
Join them as they strive to make a lasting impact on lives and hearts, sharing the love of Jesus with an unwavering dedication.
Because God loves you, and God has given you gifts.
Watch Give Me an Answer, weekdays at 3 on theDove TV.
Welcome back. Happy Thursday to you. Of course, Iran very much in the news, and they've been lobbing friendly things over to their neighbors, and the neighbors aren't too happy about it. So now, in addition to everything else going on, especially with the Straits, they got problems with their neighbors to the north and to the south. So let's check in with our good friend Chris Mitchell with CBN News. He has the latest.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he presented President Trump with 3 options for dealing with Iran. First, a good agreement. Second, military action. And third, tightening the economic siege. Wednesday, he responded to the president's action.
Yesterday, he reinforced this decision with a very, very, very powerful move. What President Trump did yesterday was to tighten the siege on Iran. Not only by tightening the siege on Iran itself, but by tightening the siege on those who aid this regime, the terrible dictatorship. This is a very important step. And I want to tell you, we still have challenges ahead of us. The Iran challenge is not yet over. We need to bring to an end also the challenge in Gaza, in Lebanon, and also other arenas, and we are determined to do so.
Netanyahu also told the gathering of leaders from Judea and Samaria that his government has dramatically expanded the Jewish presence in Israel's biblical heartland.
I know that we are not only ensuring our existence in the present, we are ensuring the existence of the people of Israel in the future. 160 farms, 104 settlements that we established and regularized. And it is not easy. It is never easy. We never give up. We have a vision. This is our land, and it will remain ours.
At the United Nations Security Council, the man overseeing President Trump's Gaza plan issued a sharp warning about the future of the ceasefire. He criticized continued Israeli strikes and warned the ceasefire could reach a point of no return.
If the ceasefire collapses and the strip spirals into another full escalation, there will be no roadmap to return to, there will be no administration to deploy, and there will be nothing left on the ground to rebuild. That would not be a setback. It would be a point of no return for everyone.
To the north, Defense Minister Israel Katz visited Israeli forces in southern Syria and sent a direct message to Syrian President Ahmed al-Sharaa. Katz says Israel will remain on Mount Hermon and in the security zone as long as jihadist threats to Israel remain.
There is daily activity here to thwart threats, to thwart the remnants of the old regime, to prevent the dangerous organization of the new regime. And the message is clear, even to the Syrian president. When you wake up in the morning in the palace in Damascus and look up at Mount Hermon and see the IDF, you know that we are here to protect our communities and our border. And this is the best message.
And Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell is with us now from Jerusalem. Chris, you were at that meeting where Prime Minister Netanyahu met with leaders from Samaria and Judea the other night. What are the biblical reasons they're both building in Samaria and Judea?
Well, Laura, they cite the scriptures like Jeremiah 36, verse 8, and that says, "But you, O mountains of Israel, you shall shoot forth your branches, yield your fruit to my people Israel, for they are about to come." And many of the people believe they have come from the four corners of the earth, and they have been coming by the millions in the last 100 years or so. Also, they look at Jeremiah 31, specifically that says, "Yet you shall plant vines on the mountains of Samaria. The planter shall plant and eat them as ordinary food." And if you go around Samaria and Judea, Lori, you're going to see a lot of vineyards. And they also look at Genesis 12. God promised the land to Abram, who would become Abraham. And so they see themselves as fulfilling all of these biblical promises, yet the world sees this area as the West Bank and the future of a Palestinian state potentially. And so this is really, and has been for decades, Lori, a battle over an ancient promises and modern diplomacy.
Fascinating. Well, 45 U.S. senators sent a letter to Prime Minister Netanyahu protesting settler violence. You have a story on today's 700 Club about settler violence. What did you find out, and what are these senators asking Netanyahu to do?
Well, first of all, Lori, the senators are asking Prime Minister Netanyahu, they want the IDF and Israeli police to intervene, regardless of who the perpetrators are there. And then they want to hold the perpetrators accountable. And this goes back to the ancient promises and modern diplomacy, they want to stop Netanyahu from approving any additional settlements. Well, here's some of what we found out working on this story on settler violence. First of all, there is settler violence, and it's universally condemned by Israeli leaders. For example, we talked to the governor of the Benjamin Regional Council, that is in Samaria. He condemns any violence. But we also talked to an organization called Regavim, and they say that there's an agenda by the EU, the UN, and many of these NGOs in the West Bank to exaggerate the problem. For example, they looked at a database from the UN itself from 2016 to 2023. There were 8,300 incidents of settler violence. More than 95% didn't have anything to do with settler violence. So they believe it's real, but the incidents are exaggerated for two purposes: demonize the Jewish people living in Judea and Samaria, and then provide a rationale for a Palestinian state. That's what they believe is the agenda behind many of these numbers.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. We'll wait 5 minutes, it'll change. Yeah. Like the weather right here.
Here's a look at today's weather from Grange Co-op. Across northern Oregon and southern Washington, decreasing clouds in Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville with highs in the mid to upper 70s, while early patchy fog in McMinnville becomes mostly sunny and 76. Through the Willamette Valley, Salem reaches 78 with decreasing clouds. Albany, Corvallis stay mostly sunny in the upper 70s, while Eugene becomes sunny and reaches 79. Patchy smoke in central Oregon with Prineville and Bend clearing to sunny skies in the low to mid 80s. Sun River becomes sunny in 82, while Boise stays smoky and mostly sunny with an afternoon high of 96. Along the Oregon coast, 70 in Coos Bay and 67 in Port Orford under mostly sunny skies. Brookings sees decreasing clouds with a high of 56, and early morning fog in Crescent City turns partly sunny and 62. In southern Oregon, sunny in the Rogue Valley with daytime highs of 89 in Grants Pass, 90 in Medford, and 85 in Ashland, 85 and becoming sunny with lows in the low 50s over in the Klamath Basin. In Northern California, Wairika stays sunny with a high of 91. Redding reaches 98 with increasing clouds, and Chico tops out at 97 with mostly sunny skies. In Fort Bragg, mostly sunny with a daytime high of 62. In the Bay Area, partly sunny with a high near 90 in Santa Rosa and increasing clouds and 86 in Napa. San Francisco stays partly sunny in the mid-70s, and San Jose reaches 86 with increasing clouds. For Central California, Sacramento climbs to 98 with increasing clouds, while Stockton and Modesto settle into the mid-90s. Heat and increasing clouds for Fresno and Visalia near 100, and partly sunny in Bakersfield with a high of 99. That's a look at your Thursday weather from Grange Co-op.
Was created because of an argument and first published on this day in history. On August 27, 1955, the very first Guinness Book of Records was published, and it all started with an argument. In 1951, Guinness executive Sir Hugh Beaver was on a hunting trip when he and his friends began arguing over the fastest game bird in Europe. They couldn't find a book that had the answer, so Beaver decided to create one. The first Guinness Book of Records was supposed to be a free promotional giveaway in British and Irish pubs. Instead, people loved it, and by Christmas, it was a bestseller. And although there are now over 70,000 world records currently documented, some records from those early editions still stand today.
Bing Crosby's White Christmas, written by Irving Berlin, remains the best-selling physical single ever with an estimated 50 million copies sold. And American Robert Wadlow remains the tallest person ever recorded, an astonishing 8 feet 11.1 inches tall. So Guinness started as a way to settle arguments in pubs and ended up creating a record of its own.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I think you get a Halo record, don't you?
I feel like I should get a record for my Halo. And, you know, with 70,000, more than 70,000 records, you know, you might want to pick something that you want to go after. And there are some oddball ones. Check this one out. Do you know there's a record for the most toilet seats broken with your head? A guy broke 46 wooden toilet seats using only his head in 1 minute.
Sure.
So pick a record, enter your record. I'm sure they'll put it in.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, I'll think of one here in a minute. All right, we all miss Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
It's a sad day for America.
It is,
really
yeah.
is. She's been being recognized literally all over the world. I understand country western stations are going to dedicate a whole day to her music.
Wonderful.
Nationwide.
Wonderful.
But she came to Oregon in her younger days when she was traveling, and she ended up writing a song about, listen to this.
Years ago, when I was working with Porter, we had been on a tour. Porter Wagner, I'm sorry, I just assumed everybody linked us together. Anyway, we used to do a lot of duet songs, and I traveled with his show for a long time. And we had been on the road and were so far away from home that I got sick. I was bad sick. It was in the dead of winter, and I was the only girl on the road, and I didn't really want anybody to have to take care of me. I was kind of embarrassed for, you know, when you're sick, you don't like people to see you sick. One night we were in Eugene, Oregon, and Coat of Many Colors was a pretty big record then. And so I told Porter, I said, I want to start seeing if I can get dressed today, and I'm going to go out on stage tonight. So I went out on stage, and I was so weak that when I came out, he had told him that I was sick, but I wanted to come out. And so I got a standing ovation. And so I started to sing Coat of Many Colors, and they stood up again, and I just started crying because I was so touched by it, and it was like a friend from home or something. And so that night after the show, I wrote a song, and it said something about Eugene, Oregon. I'll remember you for the rest of my life. I won't forget how good you've been to me, and I won't be forgetting all the kindness that you showed to a homesick country girl a long, long way from Tennessee. And it says, tired and weary and feeling low, and among strange people I didn't know, a long, long way from home and a long time gone. But Eugene, Oregon, you were kind. The love you gave was genuine. You gave me inspiration and the strength to carry on. And it goes on into, you know, the only way I could thank you was to sit down and write you this song.
There you go,
Yeah.
Eugene, Oregon.
She's wonderful.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, you know, and she was funny, and she told a lot of self-deprecating jokes. And she said, "I'm not offended by all of the dumb blonde jokes because I know I'm not dumb. I also know I'm not blonde."
Okay, we'll be right back.
When technology slows you down, your business and your life feels it. That's where Rogue Tech Pros comes in. We provide business technology services, managed IT services, and custom phone systems for businesses and homes. Our award-winning team takes time to understand your unique needs and builds a customized plan to keep your systems running smoothly so you can focus on growing your business while we handle the IT headaches. Find us at roguetechpros.com. roguetechpros.com. We keep IT simple.
When life feels heavy, your body feels it, your mind feels it. That is why I created Organic Elements Wellness Spa, a place where wellness is not a luxury, it's a way of life. Step into our wellness lounge with a Himalayan salt room, infrared sauna, steam room, and invigorating cold plunge. Restore your nervous system, detox your body, and clear your mind. Then experience customized massage, advanced skin therapies, and result-driven facials, all designed to help you look as good as you feel. There's nothing else like this in Southern Oregon. This is your space to heal, to reset, to glow. Call today to book your private wellness party for up to 15 guests or surprise someone special with a gift certificate.
Visit Organic Elements Wellness Spa on East Main Street in Medford. Book online at organicelementspa.com. Wellness is wholeness. Voted best of Southern Oregon. Pastor Jack Hibbs, championing religious liberty, a deep love of God, freedom, and America. You may have seen him in the news during COVID as he pushed back against government-mandated church closures. Now you can see him on theDove TV every weekend on Real Life with Jack Hibbs. Learn, grow in your faith, and impact the world with authentic biblical teaching. Watch Real Life with Jack Hibbs Sundays at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. on theDove TV.
Welcome back. 10 minutes before the hour on a beautiful Thursday morning. Well, one of the issues in our area where we live is water. Water's always been a big issue, especially in the Klamath Basin as it relates to the farmers. And this has always been an argument. Even back when I ran for Congress, we had the bucket brigade where we were bucketing the water. We had a bucket brigade, hundreds of people.
Really?
Taking the bucket out of one water source and dumping it in another.
Whoa.
It was a campaign thing that went on. It was the water in Klamath Basin is over-allocated by the government. It's been a headache ever since. You got the tribes that have control it. You've got potato farmers. You've got hay farmers out there. You got cattle ranchers out there. It's always an issue. Anyway, it's a hot issue for Representative Cliff Benson. He spoke about the challenges of the water there in the Klamath Basin when he was on the program with me a couple of days ago, and here's what he had to say about it.
Federal judges have a lot to say right now about the control of the water in the Klamath Basin. I was able to get a bill passed for purposes of protecting farmers and ranchers against being sent a bill for refurbishing the Keno and Link River dams. The only two dams left on what I'll call the main stem of the Klamath. One of the dams holds back all the water in the lake. And when the Bureau of Reclamation took ownership of those dams from the power company, the idea was that they would assume all the liability that went with maintaining the dam. Well, those are big numbers, 30, 60, $80 million numbers. And so when I asked the then Commissioner, Camille Touton, of who was going to have to pay, she said, well, ultimately, perhaps the farmers and ranchers. And I said, well, that's simply not right. That's not right. And so we passed this bill. The bill incorporated a 2015 agreement between parties that anticipated at that time the possibility of removal of the dams. And it was upon that the administration based a decision that the water stored behind the dam on the lake belonged to the farmers and was not subject to the ESA. And so that is being litigated now, and it's my hope that the judges will see that water that is being stored for the benefit of the farmers. That was the whole idea for the dam in the first place.
We'll see. All right, we'll take a quick water break. Better known as bathroom break, or do we do?
No, we're going to talk about who you got coming up.
Well, gosh, what do I know? I just work here.
Yeah, that's okay.
I got Corey Miller back, President, CEO. We'll be talking about the progressive miseducation of America.
Oh, boy.
You know, the whole education thing is so interesting. It's what's not being taught's the problem.
Yeah.
In addition to what's being taught.
Well,
and the priorities of education.
You know what? That kind of mirrors the news in many respects, doesn't it? It's not, what they report. It's what they don't report sometimes.
Yeah, you know what's sad about that is what's not being taught. It's just that we don't teach civics anymore.
Right.
We don't teach American history.
Right.
Really, truthfully.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
yes.
Colonel Rob Maness will be with us. He's really great. He's a retired U.S. Air Force colonel, and he wrote the book "What Can I Do About It?" And we'll talk about the influences of socialism. Look, it's a growing serious thing. It's kind of like, have you ever discovered pincher bugs kind of in a corner underneath like a piece of paper or something?
Yes.
And you pull it off and they just kind of like...
Unfortunately, yes.
I think that's what's happened with this whole social movement. It's been pulled off and they're scrambling.
Right.
And I think the shock is there's more bugs under there than we thought.
Exactly. And, and that is the big shock, is how many people are being drawn into this.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, something...
And they are pincher bugs.
And they are they're going to pinch your wallet.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's a great story about good stewardship.
Here's some good news from the wild. India's Asiatic lion population has grown by an incredible 70% in just 10 years. In 2015, there were 523 of these rare lions in western India. Today, there are 891. And the lions aren't just increasing in number, they're expanding their territory. Their range has grown to nearly 35,000 square kilometers across 11 districts. It's a remarkable turnaround for a species that had dwindled to just 60 to 80 animals in the 1980s. Conservation efforts, including protecting habitat and rebuilding populations of the deer, antelope, and wild pigs the lions depend on for food, have helped fuel the comeback. And there's another encouraging sign. Lions have naturally returned to Barda Wildlife Sanctuary, where they had disappeared nearly 200 years ago. 17 now live there year-round. For a species that once faced a very uncertain future, the roar of the Asiatic lion is getting louder.
Kitty.
Yeah, you kitty. Yeah, you bet. You've had a chance to do a little bit of safaring, haven't you? You've been out on the plain.
Never saw those.
No, really?
No, because they're that rare.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're one of the big five, and I forget what all of them 5 of them are. Water buffalo, elephants, giraffes, and then they're one of the big 5.
Okay.
So. All right, take with you Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10. This is a great one for you today. Finally, be strong in the Lord and the strength of your might. No, it says his might. Hang in there.
You caught me off guard there.
Hi, I'm the SOS Alarm guy, here to tell you about a great deal. SOS Alarm will not only beat any internet deal, but will install the system too. So burglars, beware. SOS Alarm for security and beyond.
Visit fishlakeresorts.net today to learn more and plan your visit.
The Life Essentials Interactive Study Bible by Dr. Gene Getz. The first ever multimedia study Bible with QR codes enabling you to view 1,500 videos. Watch on your smartphone, tablet, or computer with Gene Getz teaching Principles to Live By from every book of Scripture. 250 hours of in-depth teaching. Gene Getz has over 60 years of Bible teaching and is a renowned theologian. The Life Essentials Bible is a seminary in a box. Read, watch, apply. Get yours today for your own spiritual growth or as a gift that will minister greatly to your family and friends. Purchase your copy of the Life Essentials Study Bible at Christian bookstores or go to their website, BiblePrinciples.org. and click on Video Search, where you can access all the principles for free. Take your faith deeper. Get your Life Essentials. Study Bible today at Christian bookstores or BiblePrinciples.org.
The Dove TV, encouraging and informative for the Fresno Visalia area on new full-power KEDZ TV, seen on cable, satellite TV, and over the air. The Dove TV, encouraging and informative for the Fresno Visalia area on new full-power KEDZ TV. You're watching The Dove TV, encouraging and informative for San Rafael and the North Bay, seen on KQSL 17 and these Dove TV affiliates.
Welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson. And of course, the question is, as we head back to school, what are your kids being taught and what are they not being taught? I am really honored to have with us today Corey Miller. Grew up in Utah as the 7th generation Mormon. He came to Christ later and became a pastor, a philosophy professor, campus minister. He is also the author or edited 5 books and holds 3 master's degrees along with a PhD from the University of Aberdeen, Scotland. His latest book is titled The Progressive Miseducation of America. And there's a picture of the cover of that book. And Rachel Christie is the website. RachelChristie.org is the website, and there's a picture of that landing page. Dr. Miller, good to see you. How are you, friend?
Hey, it is great to be back on your program. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, you bet. If you don't mind, tell us a little bit about your story from Mormonism to receiving Christ. What happened to you there?
Well, my Mormon family like to say we come from healthy stock. And what that means is that 7th generation, going all the way back to 6 years after the publishing of the Book of Mormon. There was a split in Mormonism at the time that involved my family, and my family, in fact, split. It's the first ever split and the highest level of split ever. And it involved Joseph Smith assigning other men's wives to himself. And one of my ancestors then took the side of Joseph Smith, took 5 wives, and had 36 children later. And that's my history right there until I came to Christ as the first to go robust Christian in 7 generations.
What did that mean to you when you discovered Christ like that?
Well, I heard about the doctrine of hell at a Christian camp that I didn't intend on going to for religious purposes. But when I heard about sin, it really made me understand grace for the first time ever. And I always embraced Mormonism more out of tradition rather than out of a pursuit of truth. Once I started looking at it as a matter of truth, I found all kinds of problems. And that made me wonder if the Bible likewise doesn't have all kinds of problems. And how do I know that God even exists? And if so, which God? That's what sent me into the field of, comparative religions and philosophy, where I ended up getting a PhD from Purdue University and the University of Aberdeen, sort of a combination there, and then taught for a dozen years at Indiana University. So I think that, faith and reason are compatible. We are the ones who launched the universities. Christians are the ones who launched the hospitals, right. The checks and balances government and so forth. We have a reasonable faith and a fruitful faith.
Fascinating. All right, let's go back to your latest book, The Progressive Miseducation of America. What is behind this? What caused you to take this on?
Well, I preside over a campus ministry that's on over 100 college campuses. We have a high school division, college, undergrad, PhD student, and professors division. We equip students and professors to give historical, philosophical, and scientific reasons for following Jesus, but we have found that we end up in legal battles constantly just to be on the campuses that we Christians founded. And so I get the privilege, you might say, of looking at 30,000 feet of what's happening across the country inside of these colleges. I was a professor myself. I've been a student myself. And we are living in a revolution. It is a cultural revolution. We can see it downstream, everything happening so radically and rapidly, but it's coming from somewhere. It's coming from the universities. And so that's what made me take the deep dive to understand that as goes the university, so goes the culture, as goes the U.S. university, so goes the world.
How have your colleagues since treated you since you're writing about this?
Well, I mean, we have a Christian professor's ministry and PhD student, but we have to keep our heads down. It is the minority. Look, when you're thinking about students, listen to these statistics. Gen Z, 1/3 of Gen Z women now identify as LGBTQ. That's connected to the university and university education.
Wow.
41% of those under age 29, again, Gen Z and university, thought it was morally permissible that Luigi Mangione assassinated CEO Brian Thomas of United Healthcare. 55% of those who self-identify as left think it's okay to assassinate Trump. And the majority favor socialism. Well, this is coming from upstream, the professors. Liberal to conservative is 23-1, and at the Ivy Leagues, it's 27-1. Ideas have consequences, bad ones make victims, and good ones transform lives, society, and civilization.
Was there a little bit, Dr. Miller, a ray of hope during COVID when parents started to look over their students' shoulder when they were going to school online and see what was going on?
Yeah, I think the number of homeschools jumped from like 3% of society to 11% because they finally got to look under the hood and see what was being taught. And that's a problem with our public education, but it's also a problem with the church and with us as parents. Our job is to train our children up in the way they should go. And when they get older, they get conscripted to work for the other side. Mm-hmm. Not really. That's not what the scripture says. It says they won't depart from it.
Right.
But when you've got statistics like the ones I just showed, what parent is preparing their kids for this? What pastor is preparing the kids or the students or the parents and grandparents to train them for this kind of assault?
Before I dig down on that, what do you mean by the phrase progressive miseducation?
Yeah, it's a really big, loaded term. I would want to think of progress juxtaposed against conservatism, right? Okay. So in the past, we would call it liberal and conservative. But right now, yesterday's liberal has more in common with conservatives than they do with the new left, than the progressive left, which is essentially the Marxist left. And when we're talking about, all these things, stats and data points in the news about socialism, like 66% of registered Democrats favor socialism, we have to remember that one of the most dangerous cultural Marxists that have shaped where we're at today, Antonio Gramsci, he said that socialism is precisely the religion that must kill Christianity. So it is a secular base, but it's a radical secular base. It's not liberal, it's illiberal. They don't really believe in freedom.
How far down does this agenda target? Does it go all the way to kindergarten?
Well, let's put it this way. Gramsci talked about the long march through the institutions. And the game plan was that in order to have revolution in the West, you need to ensconce yourselves first in academia, media, and then in ecclesia. That's church, because that's the soft tissue of Western culture that Marxism had no capital with, if you will. They couldn't do a frontal assault like in Russia or in China because there was this soft tissue in culture and it kept propping itself back up. So they needed this, and they needed to get fully ensconced in our education system, beginning with the colleges of education in the universities that then train our K through 12. My daughter is a senior at a university in elementary education. She's going to be teaching third graders. I look at all the syllabi that she gets from her classes, and there is Marxism riddled through. So suppose she wants to go teach at a Christian school all the way down to kindergarten. Guess what she would be taking with her? So it's not like Christians can escape this and then go into the private schools, because we're getting everything from the top down. This is a petri dish, and you're even seeing it using religious language. So we have in politics people like James Tallarico, who says that God is non-binary and that Jesus is a socialist anarchist, and that trans community, they need abortion care too. Well, he is seminary trained, not just Harvard, but from a seminary. Or Raphael Warnock, the senator in Georgia, who likewise did his PhD at a leftist seminary, and he trained under James Cone, the father of modern Black liberation theology, which is nothing more than a hybrid of Marxism and Christianity. So they're using common language to get smuggled in to all levels of the church, from campus ministries to seminaries to Christian academic societies and, of course, churches. And the problem is that the evangelical church, unlike its first 1900 years, has literally excommunicated the life of the mind. And so we allow this bad ideology to come in and subvert the gospel of Christ for something else.
Okay, this is loaded. Let me ask just a couple simple questions. Obviously, you have been trained to see these discrepancies in education. You can look at a syllabus and realize that there's something else going on here. The average parent isn't. What are some of the obvious things they ought to be looking for?
I mean, probably the most obvious on a pop level is if you see the words connected somehow, DEI, or as I call it, DIE, and sometimes now social belonging. And even in the current political climate, we think, oh, it's gotten better because the new administration has pushed back on universities for that, which is then pushed back on, K through 12 and so forth. No, that's putting lipstick on a pig. Who would disagree with, celebrating our differences in God's creation, diversity, or with, including everybody? Shouldn't we love everybody? So there's inclusivity. And then we have equality that then got changed to equity. It used to be a financial term. Who would not be for equality? But once we start to realize that it's no longer a financial term, it's a moral term, and that inequality entails injustice along the axes of race, class, sex, gender, ethnicity, the whole thing is no longer about conserving who we are, made in God's image and being formed in the image of Christ as Christians. It's all about the haves and the have-nots, the victims and the victimizers, the oppressors and the oppressed, whether that's black or white, male or female, rich or poor, trans or cis, gay or straight, you name it. This is Marxism under a lot of different acceptable terms.
Is there also a part of this agenda the erasing of history?
Yes, it's a revisionism of history. So one of the other terms is colonialism or post-colonialism.
Right.
The West is viewed as bad. So again, West versus the rest. And we were nothing but conquerors. We didn't bring anything good. We just brought disease, death, and suffering. I'm sorry, we started the universities. We started the hospital movements way back in the 4th century.
Right.
We started checks and balances government and so forth. But yes, I think you're correct.
So the term Judeo-Christian, what's that mean to the modern educator?
Well, I would say caution on Judeo-Christian, because if you're talking about Gen Z and they're on the right, they're not going to like that aspect, because right now they've got a problem with America's, what they see as the tail wagging the dog policy with Israel. That's not an anti-Semitist perspective from Gen Z on the right, but on the left, it absolutely is. They see Israel as a colonialist state, just like America. And so there is a great deal of anti-Semitism there. So again, if you're talking about the younger generation, that's another thing. If you want to talk Judeo-Christian ethic from a biblical standpoint now, and you have to parse that, no, we no longer believe in our culture in God's existence or the Bible as a revelation, much less a historically reliable book. And so we certainly don't buy its ethics. So you have the most formidable and famous moral philosopher alive at Princeton, a Jew and atheist simultaneously, who has a book called The Unsanctifying of Human Life. And the idea is that if we no longer believe in the sanctifier of human life, we have no rational grounds to embrace the sanctity of human life. And so what we find is now we live in an assassination culture where 41% of 18 to 29-year-olds think that assassinating your political rivals is okay. Or 55% of those who self-identify on the left think it's okay to assassinate Trump, or 50% assassinate Musk. This is a new world. We are living in a revolution right now.
Yeah. All right, let me take a break. By the way, what is racial, Christy? What is that?
It is Latin, of course, because we're at the university. We had to choose a Latin term.
Right.
It means the reason of Christ. We're not just a God-centered organization. We're a Christ-centered organization, and we believe in reaching people with the heart, the hands, and importantly today, the head of Christ. Jesus commanded us when the Pharisees asked, what's the greatest commandment? Love the Lord your God with all your soul, with all your heart, and with all your mind. We need to repent as an evangelical church because we have excommunicated for the better part of a century the life of the mind.
Well stated. RachelChristi.org is the website. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
The Salvation Army fleet of vehicles is critical to providing essential services in our community, from picking up food for our food pantry to taking kids to camp and youth programming. We rely on Kelly's Automotive to keep us on the road so we can continue to provide the needs of our community 365 days a year. We can't do that without our fleet of vehicles in Kelly's Automotive.
Orthodox Christianity has existed for 2,000 years, yet many people know very little about its history, its worship, or the ancient Christian faith it preserves. Hi, I'm Paulina Leiser. Join me each week as we explore the beauty and depth of this historic Christian tradition and its place in the modern world.
Don't miss The Ancient Church, conversations about Orthodox Christianity, Sundays at 6 p.m. on the Dove TV. The financial world can be a complicated puzzle. Watching financial issues equips you to navigate it with financial wisdom and advice rooted in biblical truth.
Just be faithful in what God has called you to do. And He's called all of us to be good stewards, Mark.
Financial expert Mark Manila empowers believers to be faithful stewards while navigating the markets, politics, and economy with confidence.
When we see pricing drop, that's a good thing, I believe, across the board.
Providing you with responsible investment insight, market economic analysis, and stewardship guidance, helping believers align their finances with their faith.
Test all things. Embrace those that are good and abstain from those that are evil.
Whether you're a seasoned investor or just beginning, gain wisdom, clarity, and confidence to honor God with every financial decision. Don't miss Financial Issues, weekdays at 5 on the Dove TV.
Okay, welcome back. What an honor to have back with us today Dr. Corey Miller, and he's a philosophy professor, pastor, and he's all heads up campus ministry and president and CEO of Rachel Christi, which is also the website, RachelChristi.org. And check out his latest book, The Progressive Miseducation of America. And there's a picture of the cover of that book. That's what we're talking about today. Dr. Miller, I was trying to figure out how to ask this question because I've had Dr. Barna on and others. We talk about this change of younger people, younger generations in their thinking. And there seems to maybe be a counter-revolution to the counter-cultural revolution. And what that is there's some young people, especially young men, are waking up going, we've been lied to. We're looking for something else. They're investigating faith. There seems to be a trend there. Do you see that? And can that flame be fanned?
Yeah, I've talked with George Barna about this one as well. He's concluded that it is not a revival. It is more that young men who did have a church background or attendance in some sort of Christian religious aspect are going back to church more frequently. They're reading their Bibles more frequently. After the Charlie Kirk incident, there was a spike in Bibles ordered and things like that. But we remember what happened after 9/11, right? On 9/12, we wondered what happened. 9/13, we learned, oh, this is Islam. Well, what is Islam? By the time we get to 9/14 or 15, we forgot about it. So this is deep. There is something happening. You can see how young women vote, seriously progressive left. Young men are more conservative. But the question is where are they going? Are they going to follow a Jordan Peterson and a Joe Rogan? Is it an Andrew Tate or a Nick Fuentes? Or is it, someone else? Charlie Kirk is no longer there. And so, yes, they've been beat down for decades, thinking the best that these toxic masculine males will ever be in light of feminism, again, Marxism, is Homer Simpson on a good day. And so they've checked out even in universities. I think 37% now earn a bachelor's degree, whereas 50% of women do. We're looking at the demographic feminization of academia. Women are getting master's degrees at twice the level. And if the trend continues that more money is correspondent to more degrees, the women will be the breadwinners in America, even of conservative households, and the men are going to have to become the caretakers. Women are going after PhDs more. They now constitute 54% of the assistant professors. And in the next 15 years, they will be the majority of university presidents, deans, and so forth. That is not even the ideology of feminism. That's simply the demographic of feminism. Our young men are being shot through. And I think churches need to take note of this, and we need to start thinking seriously. Even before a youth pastor, we should have a men's pastor. It's that significant.
I hear you loud and clear. Is there any chance for a parent pushing back when they discover what their child's being taught?
Yeah, there is. But part of the problem is we have created a culture. Sometimes we feel like it's economically required. And maybe that's because of how we voted politically and created an economic monstrosity that we live in today. But both parents are working. And so when they get home, they're tired, they're exhausted. And you have this thing called a youth pastor. And for a long time now, we've simply abdicated our role and responsibility as parents and said, hey, can you raise these kids? I'll pay for their college at age 18. Now, that's obviously not all parents, but I'm saying far too many. We give that responsibility over to the youth pastor. If you look at Barna research, it shows among those having a biblical worldview in 2022, it was 6% of adult Americans. A year later, it was 4%. Among pastors, it's 37%. Among evangelical non-denominational pastors, 51 to 57%. This is a huge problem. And this is why I said we need to repent. This is a Christianity 101, Jesus 101, the greatest commandment, love God with your soul, with your heart, with your mind. This is why we lost the universities in part, and it's why we're losing the culture. We have a reasonable faith, we have a fruitful faith, but evangelical Christianity today is characterized by the scandal of a mindless menace.
I know.
And it's not about becoming Christian intellectuals. It's about simply treating the mind like we should, like Jesus wants us to, and equipping ourselves so that we can equip those around us, our family, our flock, and our community.
It seems that we have lost the hunger for God's word. We just want a good feeling.
That too. Yeah, you go to worship and you're saying, did I get anything out of it? Because that's where we're putting up on top the feelings, the emotions. And this is where, the suicidal empathy or the sin of empathy or toxic empathy, books written about this, it is that empathy that is not anchored or tethered in truth that is allowing this animated spirit to just drive Marxism in all its oppressor-oppressed narrative right into the churches.
Where do you think God is in all of this?
Well, Talarico and others will tell you that God is on their side. I think God is sovereign, but God shows us in Scripture how it usually goes. Humans are fallen, and that is obvious whenever you open up a newspaper or look at your cell phone. I think God is still working, and I think there are bright lights happening. We're seeing people get saved in the universities, PhD students. We are launching PhD student campus ministries at the top 100 universities, so that in 40 or 50 years, we are looking at the long march through the institutions so that it will be exponential growth. I think we need to come back to Jesus, loving God with our heart, the hands, and the head. We need to spend time in Scripture. We need to look at what's happening inside of our churches, but we also need to keep an eye on the institution that is the most influential shaping civilization, including our doctors, our lawyers, our attorneys, our K through 12 educators, even going back into the Christian private schools and going into the pastorate. We are living in perilous times right now, and it is yet to see how this will shake out. I'm sure God sees it, but we've got a job to do, not only to hold the line, but to advance the line so that the gospel can go forward and ultimately lives be transformed.
When you open these campus ministries and students begin to come, is this a apologetics ministry? Is it an evangelistic ministry? Is it allow for the transcendence of God?
Absolutely. I mean, we hold conferences on miracles. We hold conference on human sex trafficking and invite in ex-porn stars and ex-sex slaves. And then we'll get two philosophers up there to debate God and morality on human sex trafficking. Is it right or wrong? Which worldview better accounts for our moral sentiments and provides the resources to combat that? And so, yes, it is apologetics evangelism. What separates Ratio Christi from other apologetics ministries is that we are on the campus, the most influential institution shaping civilization. What separates us from other campus ministries is that we do apologetics evangelism. It's thoughtful Christianity, heart and head, with execution in the hands. So if someone needs a hug, we give them a hug. But if they need an argument, we are the ministry on campus to give them an argument. And moreover, we provide resources at the bite-sized, palatable level for parents and pastors and educators to take note of. We've got over 60 booklets on our website that are authored by top PhDs in America, from science, from biblical studies, philosophy, on everything from why does God allow evil, is the Bible reliable, to race, class, sex, gender, ethnicity, and so forth. These are in 25 pages. They're the same authors as people you see behind me, like Stephen Myers and Wayne Grudem and William Lane Craig. Other people that have 1 or 2 doctorates, but they write at the 11th grade reading level, 25 pages, digital or printable. And moreover, on the website, they're free for download for PDF. If people want to get equipped for their families, their flocks, or for their friends, there's no excuse.
RatioChristi.org is the website where you can weigh in for all of this. There's a picture of the landing page there on the screen. Dr. Miller's book is entitled The Progressive Miseducation of America. I think you'll find this to be very resourceful. Dr. Miller, that's available pretty much online in stores and stuff.
Right. You can go to drcorymiller.com, invite me to speak at your church, your campus, your men's group, or whatever. You can get the book there. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it in stores, wherever it's sold. Please read it, pass it on, wake up. I tell the story of what happened to America, how it happened, and what we need to do to get out of this morass and advance the cause of Christ.
You're inspiring. Thank you, friend. Can we get you back sometime?
Please do. Love it. Go team, go God.
All right, good. Good to see you, friend. Thanks for your time.
You too.
Okay.
Buying or selling a home can be stressful. It's one of the biggest decisions you'll make in your lifetime. That's why it's important to work with someone you trust, someone who has the right experience and knowledge of the market.
Hi, we're Patrick and Paulina Lizer with Lizer Real Estate Group.
And whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, our mission is to take the stress out of the transaction and make it as seamless and rewarding as possible.
Contact us today. We look forward to working with you.
We love staying connected with you, our amazing Dove partners. That's why we created the Studio Insider, your complimentary magazine packed with everything happening at the Dove. See how your support is changing lives, check out our TV and radio schedules, meet our team in the staff spotlight, enjoy faith-filled reflections, a fun crossword puzzle, and so much more. It's your inside look at the Dove.
Pastor Jack Hibbs, championing religious liberty, a deep love of God, freedom, and America.
That liberty is God-given, not government-granted.
You may have seen him in the news during COVID as he pushed back against government-mandated church closures. Now you can see him on the Dove TV every weekend on Real Life with Jack Hibbs.
You and I cannot afford to be casual about what God has actually said in His Word regarding the future.
Learn, grow in your faith, and impact the world with authentic biblical teaching.
The Bible warns us to avoid private interpretations.
Jack challenges today's generation to understand and practice the biblical worldview, verse by verse, addressing key cultural and daily life issues. Deepen your walk with Christ to make an effective impact on your world. Don't miss Real Life with Jack Hibbs, Sundays at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. on the Dove TV.
Well, welcome back. A term you're hearing in the news a lot is DSA, Democratic Socialists of America. It is no longer just a little bad dream over in the corner. It's a reality right in our face. And I am very honored to have back with us today Colonel Rob Maness. He's a retired U.S. Air Force colonel, decorated combat veteran, author, and political commentator. During his military career, he received numerous honors, including 2 Legion of Merit and a Bronze Star for combat leadership. He later ran for the U.S. Senate there in Louisiana, and now the host of the Rob Maness Show, while leading grassroots and political initiatives through what he calls the Iron Liberty Group and the Gator PAC. His book is a fascinating read, What You Can Do About It. And there's a picture of the cover of the book on the screen, What You Can Do About It. And he has a website, robmaness.com, MANESS.com, and there's a picture of that landing page. Colonel, good to see you again, friend. How are you?
Hey, it's good to see you, Perry. I'm doing great. How are you?
You know, it's Friday Eve.
Yes, it is.
Okay. DSA, Democratic Socialists of America. Wow, it's gaining political influence. What's your take on this, Coach?
The short term for that is communism or communist, quite frankly. We can go take a look at their platform. They lay it out very clearly, you know, that they want to do away with things like the United States Senate, the Electoral College, the presidency as we know it today, the Supreme Court as we know it today, and they want the country governed by a people's committee over a very large, unwieldy legislature. What does that sound like? That sounds like the Soviet Politburo system or the Chinese communist system. And quite frankly, they are antithetical to the Constitution of the United States, the values we hold dear. And all socialism does is becomes communism or some other kind of ism like Nazism. And frankly, we have to fight against it at every turn. And the Democrat Party has lost its ever-loving mind by accepting these.
There is a group, or more and more, I would say, trying now, could be too late, to distance themselves within the Democratic Party from the DSA. They're just trying to distance themselves. They don't seem to be denouncing it. What's your take on that?
Well, that's the problem, Perry, is they're not denouncing it. And there's another danger in the situation, and that is Islamism. The candidates of the DSA that are winning are people like the Democrat nominee in the U.S. Senate race in Michigan, Abdul Muhammad Rahman Muhammad Sayed, who is on record saying, I am obligated to follow Sharia law. So he's backed by the Marxist/communist DSA, but he's also an Islamist that wants to bring Sharia law to our society. And as you know, Sharia law is, again, antithetical to the Constitution of the United States, to the Declaration of Independence. The ideas in those documents are Christianity based. Our culture is Christianity based. And we will not be able to tolerate that onslaught if that takes hold. So the folks that are trying to fight this inside the Democrat Party are deluding themselves into thinking that it is a radical extreme, when in actuality, the young, up-and-coming base of the Democrat Party is embracing it. And even more dangerous, young independents and some young Republicans are embracing these ideas. And it is a threat to our very existence as a free nation.
Is this public espionage?
Not sure what you mean by public espionage, but it is public takeover and invasion or infiltration of our society. The Islamists, they like to take Christian churches and convert them into mosques. You see stories about that more and more now every day. They allow Sharia to creep in, and like this candidate in Michigan, if he were to get elected, he is obligated, as he said, to follow Sharia law, but he's also a DSA candidate. So he'll bring the two things that about these two ideas and these two theories or ways of life are that they want to take over the means of production. They want to take over society. They want to outlaw your God if you're a Christian or any other type of worshiper outside of Islam. They want to either outlaw that or subdue you and force you to pay a tax or and submit publicly to that. So I won't say it's espionage, because that's usually done in secret, but it is an overt infiltration of every institution in our system.
I guess
now, they've got a big election coming up with a constitutional amendment to ban Sharia law.
Yeah, it's amazing that the United States constitutional system allows them to run for public office. But they're a candidate that advocates everything against the Constitution. It's a dilemma we've never faced before.
Actually, we have faced it. We have a law on the books that prohibits communists from holding public office, the Communist Control Act. It's still on the books, but it's not being enforced because these days they've gotten smarter. They don't do things like join the Communist Party and be a card-carrying communist, so to speak. They do things like call themselves the Democrat Socialists of America and those kind of things. And then they wrap Islam inside of that. And the candidates for the DSA that are winning are, by and large, these Islamists at every level, federal, state, local level. They even get appointed to judgeships right here in Benoit, Mississippi, a small town of a little over 400. They appointed a municipal judge who is a hijab-wearing Islamist woman. He is a birthright citizen of two Yemeni immigrants that came to Mississippi. And although it's an appointment and a small judgeship doing traffic stuff and those kind of things, that's how it starts. That's how it started in Texas. That's how it started in Michigan. And then the next thing you know, you have these parallel court systems practicing Sharia family law, tax law, financial law, and the like. And again, Sharia is totally antithetical, just like communism is, to our way of life and our legal system. And that's why it needs to be prevented. We need to modify the Communist Control Act to include Sharia adherence and probably go so far as to identify or define what religion is, because Sharia law says if you leave Islam face the death penalty, and that's apostate. You become an apostate. That's not really a religion, it's a cult.
I understand that. So where is America outraged with this?
Well, that's the unfortunate part, Perry, is it's hit and miss. I just saw the president moments ago combine his criticism of the DSA as communist with the Islam issue and start putting a public spotlight on that. But quite frankly, here in Mississippi, when the news of this judgeship appointment was announced, there was some wrong facts in the initial reporting by independent media that was embraced, not just by the left-wing media in the state, which most of it is, but also by some in the independent media that's more conservative, and even some leaders in the Republican Party minimized the threat of a Sharia adherent woman wearing a hijab as a judge, sitting on any bench at any level as a judge inside the United States, and not only minimized it, but really scolded some of the activist level and base level voters that were raising the concern, not in a the sky is falling way, but as in this is a warning that it's a threat to our society and to our legal system, and we need to address it through legislation before it gets out of hand.
Colonel, how do you handle this with your history in military service defending our freedom, and you're seeing it being choked to death within our own walls? How do you handle this?
I just try to speak the truth, regardless of the consequences, Perry. And that's hard to do, especially in today's society. I've had cancel attempts done on me. Part of the book is about canceling your own cancellation, because I and others, colleagues and friends of mine, have been canceled attempts throughout the years. So you have to just step up and face the truth and speak the truth. As much as it may hurt and be painful for even those that you think are your allies and on your side, they need to hear that truth over and over again, because, the media system and the social media system is overwhelmingly the other side's messaging. And if we are self-censoring, so to speak, then we only are handing power to that other side of the system. And every time we do that, it erodes the ability of the United States under a constitutional government backed up by the Declaration of Independence and Christian culture to exist. So the threat is real. Speaking of truth is the only way. As a matter of fact, I just had an article published in the Daily Caller yesterday, taking on the New York Times, that published an article a few days ago saying Huckleberry Finn shouldn't be taught, and if teachers do it, they should self-censor themselves and not put themselves in danger of being fired. Well, absolutely not. Huckleberry Finn is one of the greatest pieces of American literature ever written. It was written for a reason, to highlight the problem of things like slavery and racism. And every American, I don't care what your skin color or background is, should read that book to understand where Mark Twain was coming from, so that you can see today through that lens and see how far we've come and the successes we've made. And then if there are continuing issues, be able to identify those, because the way that we do things now, we try to push that stuff under the rug or ignore it or avoid it or self-censor ourselves. And then we wake up one day and start saying that things are as bad today as they were in 1885 when Twain published that book, when they're really not. And that prevents you from getting at the real challenges in our society, things like poverty and affordability, which is a big term that's going on right now with the midterm election.
So isn't that kind of the part of the agenda of the left, is to revise history, to attack traditions, to remove things that monuments, etc.? I mean, that's part of the agenda, isn't it?
Oh, it absolutely is part of the agenda. They want to rewrite history. The president's team has done an assessment of the Smithsonian's Museum of American History and found that they've been rewriting history and retelling history in a way that is in opposition to the founding of America. We're celebrating the 250th anniversary of the Declaration, and it would be difficult to find a display to the founders that wrote the Declaration and passed the Declaration of Independence and then fought the war for independence anywhere in that museum in a positive light right now.
All right, let me take a break. I'll be right back. I want to talk to you more. Let me say we're just so honored to have back with us today Colonel Robert Maness. By the way, his website is robmaness.com. There's a picture of the landing page. His book, excuse me, very encouraging, What You Can Do About It. There's a picture of the cover of the book. It's available online everywhere that books are sold. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
They travel across America to give an answer for questions, doubts, and challenges concerning faith.
The Gospels are historically reliable.
Their mission, present truth, faith, and help people find purpose.
Not based on blind faith.
Join them as they strive to make a lasting impact on lives and hearts for Christ.
They're either all wrong or one of them's right. I got to go to the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Don't miss Give Me an Answer, weekdays at 3 on the Dove TV. Do events in the world leave you confused and scratching your head? A world where up is down and down is up.
I'm Perry Atkinson. Mornings on the Dove knows how you feel. We're here to offer God's hope and encouragement and to help you to sort it all out.
And I'm Jerry Bilden. Mornings on the Dove alerts you to issues and events the mainstream media would rather you not know or know the truth.
A lot in the news today, some movement around in the Middle East, common sense discussions on today's headlines, and rational perspective on what's really going on.
That will leave you better informed and encouraged by the gospel.
In this upside-down world, there's one place you can trust to get it straight.
Check into Mornings on the Dove each day to find out what's really going on and to be encouraged.
Mornings on the Dove, weekdays from 6 to 8 a.m. on the Dove TV and radio. Streaming online at thedove.us, Roku, and Apple TV. The Dove, encouraging and informative.
Okay, welcome back. Such an honor to have back with us today. Colonel Rob Maness is back with us, retired U.S. Air Force, decades in the military, decorated. His book is entitled What You Can Do About It. It's available wherever books are sold, and he does have a website, robmaness.com. There's a picture of the cover of the book, and there's a picture of the landing page. So, Colonel, I was thinking during the break here, your decades of military service, you have lived through even the attack within the military of wokeness and DEI, even when the brass was embracing it. It's a new day now. A lot of that's being kicked out. There seems to be a renaissance in the military. It's certainly attracting a lot of young men now, and the recruitment numbers are through the roof. What's your take?
Yeah, that's really good news. Is recruitment numbers are not only through the roof, but they're exceeding their goals to the point where the bureaucracy that intakes new members in the military is getting bogged down a little bit. But that's a good problem to have. The challenge is, and you mentioned wokeism and DEI, the COVID-19 order that it turned out to be unlawful. The challenge is a lot of the people that implemented those are still in positions of leadership and power. Not all. Some have been retired, moved on, moved out of those positions. But, you know, the Pentagon and the service departments are huge bureaucracies, the biggest one in the world. And it's just a really big challenge. And to get that cleaned out, get the right people into the right positions to make the right decisions, and to hold people accountable that didn't do the right thing when they were presented with the challenge that you talked about of wokeism, DEI, the unlawful, and those kinds of things. So we're, you know, the department's continuing to slog through that, and I think we'll be working on it the day this administration leaves office because it's just such a large challenge to get your arms around. But you know, we've got to put people in place when we do the next presidential election that will commit to carrying on those reforms and doing things like reforming the acquisition system, downsizing the workforce, making them smaller, and holding folks accountable, and making sure leaders that are loyal to the Constitution of the United States are all in place in that bureaucracy and across the entire U.S. government's bureaucracies, because it's a significant issue from the local to the federal level, the permanent bureaucracy with folks that are, let's say, resistant to the policies of the elected president or governor or legislature, no matter what state you live.
Are we war ready?
We are more war ready now than we were at the end of the Biden administration. There have been a lot of great things happen. Every day you hear about something new. The manufacturing base for the United States, not just in the defense industry, but across the board, is beginning to come back. You're seeing the real things happen, like groundbreakings on new factories. Elon Musk just announced that he selected Louisiana for his SpaceX massive launch center that he's been looking for a site to build on. That's $100 billion going to come to the Gulf of America coastline very soon, near future. Those kinds of things are happening. The president's team on trade continues to push against even those that say that they want to be our friends, but have really cheated us in the trade competition for years and years and years. And now they're being held accountable. I like what I'm seeing there. He's got some challenges. The war in Iran continues to keep gas prices elevated a little bit. But I also see that, they're taking the right steps to end that war and remove that enemy of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, that controls Iran. And if we continue to stay on course for that, not necessarily with full-scale military operations, but like the blockade and economic pressure and those kind of things, I think you'll see success in that. And there won't be this, renewed endless war policy.
Yeah.
We're going to be in a place for 25 years.
I want to come back to America just for a few moments that we have left here. We've talked about a lot of the roles of the various institutions, from government to schools, education, media. Do you think that the American church is prepared for where we are to counter it?
I do not. Unfortunately, I would like to see the church in a position that it was in prior to the American Revolution and the Declaration of Independence, where men like George Whitefield were preaching not only the gospel, but were preaching the concept of liberty and how it relates to Christianity, and that the society inside the American colonies was ready to grab that liberty and set up a government that was disconnected from tyranny, disconnected from monarchies, and controlled and set up for the people to protect their liberty. And I don't see that the American Christian church is ready to take that on yet. We see some that are powerfully speaking out from the pulpit and outside the pulpit in the media, but it's not nearly enough. And I would encourage every Christian pastor to not only preach the gospel, but frame your messaging in the context of this Declaration of Independence and what led to it. And the really great awakening, I think, is what it was called then, that led to the creation of this great country, because we need that level of effort to save this country.
Earlier, we talked about, obviously, the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America. There was a time when the word socialist was kind of toxic in America, but it's in the news so much, it's kind of getting watered down. Should we be switching that to communism?
I think so. I try to use the real words. We got in the habit of using the term radical Islam to soften it up so the politicians could talk about Islam, because of the sensitivities about the First Amendment in the Constitution, which is misapplied to Islam, by the way. I'll just reiterate that. But it's Islam. It's not radical Islam that is the threat. It is not Democrat Socialists of America. It's not socialism. It's the communism or other isms like Nazism that results from following that. Socialist tag is just a signpost on the road to that type of tyranny. And really what it does is it enslaves its population and makes those at the top that say they're for the workers, the wealthy elite. You see it in history in the Soviet Union. You see it, that's what's happening in communist China, with some variation because of us and our lack of effort to isolate them economically. But it's still the same pathway. It ends in the deaths of hundreds of millions of citizens at the hands of their government. That's not what happens in the United States of America. That's not what happens in liberal democracies around the world that are able to maintain their form of government and their cultures. But it is what happens every single time when you get on the road to socialism and communism. That's why we've got to fight against it.
Because I think we struggle in our way that we're structured. We have lines of, of power. We have lines of agencies. But when you're dealing with Islam, you've got religion, you've got military, and you've got government all as one. I don't know if we know how to process that.
Well, that's the thing. We've got to define what religion is in the United States of America so that we can rightly apply our laws. Our founding initial presidents and legislatures at the federal level and state level seem to understand the threat of Islam and the Muslims. As a matter of fact, we've gone to war with Muslims before because they were doing the same things the Iranians try to do in the Strait of Hormuz, attacking commercial shipping, charging them taxes or tolls, kidnapping crews, enslaving them, stealing the goods and the ships. So we were able to identify it at one time as the threat that it actually is, and we need to study our history, take a look at that, and then apply that through modern day language. And I think the way to do that is to readily identify and acknowledge that Islam is not a religion in the context of the First Amendment or the Constitution of the United States. It's more like a cult. It's an ideology. It's a form of government that has a religious book associated with it, but it's about governance, and it's about tyrannical governance. As I said, if you're a Christian in Islam, you have some choices. You can pay the jizya tax and openly and publicly submit that Islam is superior to Christianity, or you can face the death penalty. Or they'll let you leave, but most of the time they don't do that. I'm not talking about 7th century. I'm talking about modern day countries where Islam and Sharia law are supreme.
Yeah. All right, one last question, about a minute. What do you want people to get from your book, what they can do about it?
The most important action you can take is the action at your own front door. Go to local government meetings, go to local community association meetings, and make your voice heard. And organize others around you, like your neighbors and fellow citizens that are within your reach. Organize together when you see that you have a challenge. The title of the book, What You Can Do About It, is really a question that I get all the time. What can I do about that, sir?
Yeah.
Well, organize, raise resources, and act. Do it at the local level. That's where you start.
All right. The book is entitled What You Can Do About It. It's available wherever books are sold online. And the Colonel does have a website, Rob Maness, MANESS.com. And there's a picture of that landing page. Colonel, always an honor to have you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Perry. God bless you. God bless you.
You too, buddy. Take care.
Take the Dove wherever you go. Visit thedove.us today and download the Dove radio and TV app. It's an improved experience, designed with easy navigation to help you quickly find what you need. Visit thedove.us today.